Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a fantastic little day. David, what's up, man? How you doing?
Sharing the link, man. We're live.
You know, when I ask you how you're doing, you're not supposed to literally answer with whatever you're doing. You're just supposed to say good.
I was just sharing the link.
All right. You were just live for 2 hours, weren't you?
Yeah. What fantasy land do you live in? 3 hours, try.
3 hours? I'm pretty sure it was just 2 hours, but whatever.
3 hours.
So David was just live for 2 hours. Now he's joining me to review a few things. I was just traveling to take care of some personal business. And now I'm back. So I'm
like
kind of
sick
of this whole traveling here and traveling there to handle this and handle that.
No more traveling.
It's been non-stop over the last half year or so.
We're done traveling. We don't need to travel anymore. Talk to people right here online. There's no need for any actual human interactions in any circumstances anymore, guys.
That's true. Hey, did you hear that? Everybody's citing me. They say Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested. Reports AP.
Yep. Everyone, it's crazy, man. People go to you for all news now. I see it everywhere. AP reports. I was like, gosh.
Breaking. Andrew Tate. Rapists and sex traffickers Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested in Miami. We hear, which is very, very interesting news. So I want to look at that first.
You know what's interesting about that?
What?
You had all this stuff going on in Romania, all this stuff going on in the UK. They come back here for a quick visit, find out Miami don't play. Seems like they don't play down in Florida, man. Seems like they don't play.
Florida.
No, I don't even know the situation. They may be released after posting bond or something like this 5 minutes later. But
I'm pretty sure that Florida said before that that if they come, they will be arrested or something like that.
Well, I have to say he definitely should have been arrested for wearing that shirt.
It is pretty gay, man. The stuff that he puts on his body is pretty gay.
It is extremely gay. It looks like it came from the Blue Oyster Club from Police Academy.
That's funny because I'm a big fan of that kind of comedy.
You ever see the Blues? You know what I'm talking about? The Blue Oyster Club?
No, I've seen the Police Academy.
I remember the song. Every time people walked in, it was the same song.
Yeah. I just saw recently Andrew Tate was wearing some shirt in a casino.
I saw that too. That was like 10 times gayer than this one.
Wait, I gotta find it now. Andrew Tate casino. Let's see. Gotta find that and put it on the screen just to see how gay it is. That was like, I got it here. This is even posted on their account on the real world account. Look at this, man.
Look at that. It's see-through, polka dotted see-through.
What the hell is this? What is even happening here?
That the house has is they go second. You go first, which means that a lot of people go over, you bust.
Who dresses like this? What in the world is this? What in the world is going on here? Look at this. The comments are kind of funny though. Gay. So anyway, how's everybody else doing? What's up, everybody? I missed being in touch with everyone. How is everybody doing?
Is that the why are you gay, dude?
Yeah. People generally just post this here in response to seeing something that looks very gay.
But it was a funny clip because he goes, "Why are you gay?" The guy goes, "Who's gay?" He goes,
"You are gay.
You are gay."
You are a transgender. But anyway, so they have just been arrested. According to Apostate Prophet News, social media influencers Andrew and Tristan Tate arrested in Miami, U.S. Marshal Service tells Apostate Prophet. Andrew Tate Wright and his brother Tristan arrive an event. Okay, I have to work on my reporting here. Influencer brothers were arrested by federal authorities Saturday in Miami, according to the U.S. Marshal Service. Brady McCarran, a spokesperson for the Marshal Service, told the Associated Press, that is actually Apostate Prophet, that the warrant was sealed. British prosecutors announced late Saturday that they were seeking the extradition of the brothers on rape and sex trafficking charges. The offenses are alleged to have occurred between July 2010 and August 2017. The Crown Prosecution Service said in a statement. The brothers, well, this clearly shows that Andrew has not really converted to Islam. Otherwise, Britain would never go after him for being a rapist and sex trafficker. The brothers' proponents of hypermasculinity, who have millions of followers on social media, are dual US and British citizens who moved to Romania in 2016. They were arrested there in 2022, accused of participating in schemes to lure women for sexual exploitation. They denied those allegations, and the case didn't go forward because of legal and procedural irregularities. I'm pretty sure that's still pending. The former professional kickboxers have amassed a following of fans, particularly young men and boys, by professing a lifestyle of luxury and unapologetic misogyny. The pending charges in the United Kingdom accused the brothers of abusing women between 2010 and 2015 in an area north of London where they grew up. Their lawyers had said they denied the allegations. They can deny it as much as they want. They can deny it as much as they want.
But what if they say, Wallahi, I am innocent?
Then Britain will say, oh, all right, mate, we didn't want to be Islamophobic, mate. Yes, the criminal investigations against Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate in Romania are also still ongoing. Due to many irregularities and complications, it has been stalled and reviewed and so on. The travel restrictions have been lifted for now due to conclusion that they pose no current threat. But organized criminal criminal group, human trafficking and money laundering, and charges of rape in Romania are still pending and still ongoing. So that is still ongoing. That hasn't been halted or anything like that. So Randy Bales gifted one Apostle Prophet membership. Thank you. Thoughts on Aisha's acting in TV series Euphoria? Aisha's acting? What? I don't know what you're talking about, honestly. Dawa Troll, Paul, you always make these vague super chats, and then I have to figure out what you're talking about. Then you have to make additional super chats. Is this a trick? Is this what you do all the time, or do I just not know? I do not know. I saw Mike Winger is going to be the next David Wood. Mike Winger is already David Wood. What's wrong with you? You should know this by now. Going to give more powerful Winger arguments. Don't tell David. How are you guys? Thank you.
Yeah, he did say that. He's like, with all these Muslim guys attacking Christians, I think I'm going to have to jump into this whole apologetics dealing with Islam thing. It's like, yeah.
The thing is, he went hardcore, man. It's just suddenly Mike Winger is attacking Islam.
Really? What is this? People mentioned it. People mentioned it that he was running his mouth over there.
So he started. Wait a minute. When was that? When did he start? When did he first start? Let me see. When was this? Okay. Here.
Whoa, that's lots of stuff.
I know he has made repeated posts about Islam. So I think it started with, at first he shared the other Mike's GoFundMe fundraiser, Michael Jones, Inspiring Philosophy. Thanks to everybody who has contributed to that, by the way.
Absolutely. They are enraged. Malik's even trying to get it taken down and stuff like that. He's posting his screenshots of his whining to GoFundMe. It's like, it's hilarious because he's the one who caused it. So if GoFundMe investigates and is like, can you verify that you were actually threatened? We have people saying that it's all a scam. Well, yeah, I can show you all these clips from the guy who complained to you, threatening my wife, me, everyone.
That's true. So he shared this at first, and then he said, he said the following: due to recent increases in Muslim threats against Christians online, I have made a decision. I'm going to help expose Islam more. 32,000 likes.
Are you kid for him?
Yeah.
And for what? What do people? Oh, yay! Mike Winger's really going to expose Islam. Heidely ho, everyone! Here's my new video about Islam.
The Wingalings are attacking Islam.
The Wingalings! The
will destroy
Wingalings! Islam will never
Wingalings.
recover from the Wingalings!
Wingal. Where's my Wingalings shirt, man? I gotta find my Wingalings shirt. Wingalings. Wingalings. Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl. Muhammad saw his adopted son's wife.
Where'd you hear that, Mike Winger?
So he made them get divorced so he could add her to his harem of women. And after people complained that he can't marry his son's ex-wife, he outlawed adoption as a rule in Islam to justify this. He said God said so.
Where'd you get that information, Mike Winger?
Muhammad didn't like people asking him questions after dinner, so he got a revelation that God told him to tell everyone they can't ask him questions after the dinner. It's in the Quran now.
Where'd you get that verse? Where'd you get that? Where'd you learn about that, Mike Winger? Oh, could it be my video from years ago? My favorite Quran verse?
Muhammad seems to have been so confused about what Christians believe that he thought the Trinity was Father, Son, and Mary. He clearly got this from me because I talked about this quite frequently, so he clearly copied me here. But it's okay, Mike. You can do that. It's okay. Google the Islamic dilemma.
And so I shall. Islamic dilemma.
Google the Islamic dilemma, he posted. The Quran says the sun...
Hey, I just Googled the Islamic dilemma, and this AI overview pops up. And it says, the Islamic dilemma is a logical argument often used in Christian apologetics to challenge the foundational claims of Islam. It centers on the Quran's relationship with the Bible, the Torah, and the Gospel, and presents a twofold trap regarding the reliability of those previous scriptures. The dilemma is structured as follows, and it gives a basic rundown. And then it says, perspectives and responses. The argument is a subject of ongoing debate between Christian apologists and Muslim scholars, with different sides offering different solutions. The Christian apologist view. Prominent apologists like David Wood argue that Islam is logically impossible because the Quran forces Muslims into a corner. If Muslims claim the Bible is altered, they undermine the Quran's own verses, which command people to listen to the scriptures available in the 7th century. Only mentions one person by name here. David Wood.
David Wood is the one who proposes to... I don't know. I just Googled it, and for me, it doesn't mention any name at all.
Did you look at the AI?
Yes.
Show what your screen says. I'm pretty creeped out if these guys give different things to the exact same prompt.
I'm not showing it.
Okay. Yeah, because you made that up.
The Quran says that the sun sets in a pool of mud on earth somewhere. It says that Alexander the Great traveled west until he found that spot. It also says people live there at the pool of mud where the sun sets and which Alexander the Great visited once. Fact check me.
This seems like all stuff I posted about back in the day.
Leave Islam and turn to Christ. Go from darkness to light. Let your zeal for God be true zeal for the true God and his Son who died for our sins and rose again. East.
This totally
sex, slavery. Hey, look, you liked all these comments, man.
Yeah.
You know this dude's my mortal enemy, and you're sitting there liking all his comments.
Dude, I'm the biggest Mike Winger fan there is. Sex slavery has been standard Islamic practice for the majority of Islamic history. It didn't just happen alongside Islam as a cultural reality. It happened directly due to the teachings of Islam, its doctrine. Sex slavery is doctrine in Islam. That's right. That's right. Speak the truth. The truth, Mike Winger. We haven't heard this kind of truth forever, man. This is the first time that I see some white guy with glasses that looks like a nerd going after Islam so hardcore. I wish somebody else did that, but nobody else does this. Nobody else does this, unfortunately. Oh, except David. The Quran limits Muslim men to only 4 wives, but Muhammad had special permission from God to have as many wives as he wanted. It's because God told Muhammad to write that down. That's why. Don't blame Muhammad. He's just following orders. Nice. Andrew Tate thought Islam was attractive because they were willing to kill people for stuff like making cartoons about Muhammad. That's right. That's right. How old was the youngest female Muhammad married? Poll: 16, 12, 9, or 6. Now, some incorrectly put 9 there. It is actually
Just because
6.
they've heard the number 9 so frequently mentioned.
To be fair, I wouldn't exactly completely rule out 9 as a response, because it's kind of, there is some ambiguity where you can say by the European concepts, it is like it is 6 is
Yeah.
where is the betrothal or whatever you want to call it. 9 is where the consummation actually happens. But in the terms of Arabia, it was simply that that it was marriage at 6 and consummation at 9. That's what it is. Muhammad taught his followers to drink camel urine. Fact. To cure medical conditions. Many Muslims today still do it. It's supposed to cure diseases, but it's not only debasing and disgusting, it can give you some very serious problems. But Muhammad said so you can buy some today. Gosh. He's being very, very mean to Muslims and Islam, man. What the heck? Then he retweeted, inspiring philosophy. We had an ex-Muslim profess Christ on our stream today. Glory to God. Pray for Kev. Nice. Then he continues. He continues today. Islam's practice of marrying first cousins regularly has actually lowered the IQ of whole nations to a significant degree. Muslim majority nations have much lower IQ than Christian majority nations, like 20 points lower. 20 points. 20.
Well, how do we know that it's because of all the first cousin marriage and not because these countries read Mike Winger's tweets a bunch?
Well, we know this because Daniel Kikachu, foremost Muslim apologist, confirmed this very thing here with the help of Andrew Wilson. Here we go. Where we go. One of the names Muslims have for their God is the best of deceivers. Well, it's true that Satan is the father of lies. I don't think he's letting go, man. I was told by Muslims that the proof that the Quran is from God is that it's the most beautifully written book ever. I read the Quran. It was poorly written. Everybody says the same thing. I will say the same thing. I have said it over and 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 over again. I read the Quran many, many times when I was a Muslim. I read it after I left Islam. It is, and I'm not just saying this because I absolutely dislike Islam, and I think it is a bunch of darkness and filth. It is actually a horrible book.
It's really, really bad. It's really bad.
Which is why not even Muslims want to read it.
Yep. And I can say that the Quran is the worst book I've ever read. And I've read some crap books over the years. It is by far, I mean, just completely, just like, it's not organized at all. It jumps from topic to topic. It's a bunch of incoherent gibberish and so on. Anthony Flew, one of the great skeptics of the 20th century, was asked his view. He was asked to compare the Quran and the Bible because he didn't believe in either one. He said, the Bible is an amazing work of literature, which everyone, including atheists, need to be familiar with. He said, to read the Quran is to do penance. And he's right.
That's right.
To read the Quran is to do penance.
That's right.
But what the heck's Mike Winger got? Hey, look at this barely literate dude. Look at Mike Winger. Says, I read the Quran. It was poorly written. Then they told me only on Arabic can I see the beauty. Only on Arabic? You mean only in Arabic? He's talking about, I mean, he's making fun of the Quran for being poorly written, and then he's a poor writer.
It is acceptable to say on Arabic, David.
That's called hypocrisy. No one says on Arabic.
Well, you can say on atheism or on Christianity, on Islam.
You don't say read this on English.
Says who?
Any sane non-moron in the world.
You can modify things, and you can use on here in this case. It might not be the most conventional way to write it, but you can totally say it and write it.
Okay, so you heard it here, folks. According to the expert in the English language, the Turk, that we can't even understand most of the time because his ridiculous accent. But anytime you're using the word in, you can just use on. So I can say I'm going on the house, and that'll make as much sense as I'm going in the house. Where are you going? I'm going in the house. Oh yeah, you could say that I'm going on the house. That'll mean the same thing, according to Mike Winger and AP.
Well, if Mike Winger said something, it cannot be incorrect. So, in your face. Then they told me only on Arabic can I see the beauty. No, this isn't a translation issue. It's just poorly written. Why did he delete his post? He quoted somebody. Random Abdul says, Grok, New Testament versus Quran. Which book is more closer and verifiable to its original source, and which book has got updates? The person deleted his post. Interesting. Here we have, wait a minute. He said goodbye in February 2025, but then he was back again. Yes, he was back. Anyway, I find it very, very nice that Mike Winger is going after Islam, because, to be honest, if Mike Winger started critiquing Islam, he would be, first off, there is no such person who attacks Islam as effectively as Mike Winger would do it, especially not some tall white guy with glasses. Secondly, I think everybody needs Mike Winger, and I think if Mike Winger started actively criticizing Islam, it would be the number one thing to do. I mean, think of it, when you ask somebody, hey, is there a Christian apologist who effectively critiques Islam, who critiques many of Islam's aspects? People generally cannot think of anyone, right? Mike Winger needs to fill that gap. He needs to come in. He needs to be the first Christian apologist who actually effectively criticizes Islam. So I hope he does that. I'm looking forward to it. Anything else you want to say about this, David? But this is not a time to sleep. We're live. Mike Winger is the final boss, says Ace. This is true. The legendary Mike Winger. AP Junior threatened to kill an ex-Muslim on X space live for Islam critique. I know, I got it right here. Wait a minute. Let's listen.
Oh, is that why his account did he take down his account, or did he get kicked off?
He might have taken it down after realizing his mistake, because he might get permanently banned for this with no way to retrieve it. Or he might have been banned, actually. I don't really know. I haven't really followed it.
Remember that.
You just declared yourself as the enemy of Islam. I would kill you over what you just said. You know that?
Go ahead, fucking try
I would
it,
cut
bitch.
your fucking neck off if you insult
do it.
Aisha and Abu Bakr like
Tell me
that.
who you are.
Settle down.
You realize that?
Yeah.
This is Junior, the famous Junior, the best. I can't say it with a straight face.
He is the best.
The worst. Probably one of the worst debaters of all time. He's saying to somebody, because they insulted Islam, I will cut your neck off. I'll kill you.
You just declared yourself as the enemy of Islam.
We are all enemies of Islam, Junior. Calm down. We're all enemies of Islam. That person is not special. Arrested in Miami? Okay, all right. We'll see what happens next with this arrest in Miami. Anything else, David? Let me take a few super chats before we have a look at Nick Matau and his dealings with Islam. Nick Matau is a very effective debater who has recently emerged, and also it's kind of unclear what he is. I was supposed to debate Junior with him together, but then that kind of didn't happen. But to my knowledge, he is an atheist, agnostic, something, I think. But he primarily comments on geopolitics, on America, on Israel, on Iran, and things like that. And he, during a live stream of his, the Muslims, Korra and some others together, decided to jump in and debate him. Lots of people messaged us about this, so we'll have a look at that. But before we do that, I would like to take a few super chats here. Sir White Meat said, AP, get a bodyguard and name him Acid Protection. Yeah, that sounds like a very nice idea. Ida goes in, Ida said, what's up? What's up, Ida? Seth Below, 2C TV relocated to Florida. More collaboration? That's a good question. I was in touch with him a long time ago, and we said we would do that when he's in Florida. But I haven't checked in with him recently. I will probably do that. I know that he was going to do that. I'll talk to him about it sometime. Lies destroy lives. According to Jesus, people show their love for God by loving the people God loves, which is all people. Ada Baby Dean says, judging by that shirt, they got arrested on purpose. He will love prison. So you're saying he's gay and he wants to get banged in prison. It's pretty messed up. Lies destroy lives. Muslim women do to their daughters. I suffered and I survived. So you have too. Their religion makes their hearts hard. That's what it does. That's what it do. Paul, look at the TV cast for Euphoria. Trust me. Okay. Are you referring to the American version or are you referring to the Israeli version? Since you're messaging me from Israel, I don't really know. Which one are you talking about? You have to elaborate more. I can't spend my time doing this during the live stream, Paul. Mary Mac, you are muted, David.
I just searched for Euphoria. Is this why Sydney Sweeney's famous? Because she's in it.
Yes, it is. Primarily,
I see no one named Aisha. I'm clicking on see more. I still see. So Zendaya, I think that's a Spider-Man chick. Sydney Sweeney, Hunter Schafer.
David sounds like a boomer.
Alexa, something. Where's go? Lexi, Nate. No, Aisha, man.
Aisha. Television.
There's someone called Ashtray.
No, that's different. Mary Mac says, tell Lucian his video made me smile.
Miss Mary Mac, all dressed in black. Oh, yeah, you should play it real quick. I haven't seen it.
David, tell Lucian his video made me smile. I buried my son 8 weeks ago, but don't tell him that. Thank you and Mary for raising such a lovely son. Thank you and Marie for raising such a lovely son. Okay, sorry. No, I read it correctly. That message was for you, David, but you have no heart, so. Chad Lennox says, Wingerlings unite, fall into a V-shaped formation in order to drastically reduce drag. Islam will be sorry now. Indeed. This is what the world needs, man. The world needs Mike Winger going after Islam. That is what everybody needs. Most people just don't know it. Catholics More says, release the Wingerlings. Songs of Relief. Good job, Mike Winger. Why did no one ever talk about it before? Exactly. Mike Winger is the first Christian apologist to actually target Islam, and I'm very happy about it. Jack Ray, Mike Winger. So then I started blasting. Jack Ray gifted 10 memberships. That's very based, Jack Ray.
It is totally based.
Thank you for imprisoning 10 people into this cult. Stephen M. Pardon the interruption, but the Tater was just arrested in Florida. We know. We know. By the way, also, Mary Mac, sorry for your loss. And sorry I didn't pay attention to that closely. Real Dihya Al-Kalbi says, Winger is kind of cute, but I'm faithful to my man. This is real Dihya Al-Kalbi. Dawachul, read this super chat on English. Dude, this is a perfectly okay use of the word of the word on. What's wrong with you? Sivako made a resolution to read the Quran front to back in 2026, so no one can say I don't know Islam when I criticize it. Can confirm it's torture. I wish you good luck. Did you actually do this? Are you still in the process of it? Did it fail? It's a terrible thing. I want to be very honest. I'm trying to think of books that I read that are actually terrible.
When I think of books that I read that are actually terrible, it was from jail where you're in a cell or in a block and they would bring like a book cart around and you just have to kind of pick a book off the book cart if you want something to read. And some of those books were like just not good. They're like crap fiction books and so on. Some of those were terrible in that there's no point to them. Like, I mean, there's a story, but it's just, you're not learning anything. It's not important information, but also it's not a well-told story and it's not well written. So I can think of crap books like that. The Quran's worse, man. The Quran's worse. It's just a worse book.
Some people say that the Book of Mormon is a terrible book to read, but I don't believe it. I haven't read it myself, although I have it because I picked it up from some hotel. But I do not believe that it is as bad as the Quran. I just can't buy that. Considering that it is a Western book, a Western product, by some guy who clearly had severe problems, but who still had some skills. I still don't believe it is as bad. Maybe I will read it one day and then I will make my judgment about it. But the Quran is the only book that I can think of. I'm very, very serious, man. I'm very serious. It was at a hotel. Yes, it was in Utah, because when I went to Utah to stay there, it was in the hotel room and it explicitly say, feel free to take. That's why I took it. So that was the Book of Mormon, not the Quran. I'm absolutely serious. I can't think of a single book where I actually thought, wow, this is an absolutely horribly written book. It might be because usually when I do read books or did read books, it is usually that I pick a very specific book to read that is of great value. So I haven't encountered random terrible books. I don't know. But the Quran is a genuinely terribly written book. If you don't believe me, please pick it up. This has been my advice forever. I would tell anybody, if you're somewhat interested in Islam, if you somehow are curious about Islam, especially if you want to counter Islam, if you are curious why people want to defend this religion, it is my genuine suggestion: read the Quran. It is an incredibly stupid book. It is disjointed. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. It is repetitive. There is no proper point to it. There is nothing to really follow. It jumps from one topic to another topic, back to the other topic, back to a completely unrelated topic, and so on. It is a ridiculously stupid book. And no excuse really works. Oh, in the original language. I'm sorry, there is no book in any language that we cannot somehow translate and make it readable the way it is in its original language. Sure, it will lose some of its intention, some of its quality, some of whatever it is during a translation. But still, we have ancient books that are beautiful, that you can translate and that become quite readable and quite easy to follow and to appreciate. You can't do it with the Quran. It is a stupid, ridiculous book. It is even an insult to call it a book, I would say.
Yeah, my biggest concern, because keep in mind, back when D. Wood was getting started, there were not a lot of people who wanted to deal with Islam. And so it was cool over the years that more and more people became interested in talking about Islam. More and more Christians got interested in exposing Islam and preaching the gospel to Muslims and so on. But my biggest concern over the years was not that these people were going to be threatened if they start exposing Islam. My biggest concern was everyone seemed to have the same mentality, because they would message me and they would say, hey, David, I have a heart for Muslims, and I'd like to do evangelism, and I'd like to do this and that. And so I'm going to start reading the Quran. I'm like, oh no. Going to start reading the Quran so I know my stuff. Oh no. And that was a disaster, because everyone would give up halfway through Surah 2. They couldn't do it. They couldn't finish reading. They couldn't get through Surah 2. It was so mind-numbingly stupid and boring that they would give up. So I had to start telling people, look, do not read the Quran. Oh, you thief thing, don't read the Quran because it's so powerful. Yeah, it's a powerful deterrent to learn about Islam because it's painful to read. And so I had to start telling people, don't just read the Quran. You're going to give up halfway through Surah 2, and then you're going to think you can't talk about Islam because you don't know about Islam. Study topically, pick a topic, read, find the verses on that topic. It's the only way. And then like 4 or 5 years later, if you really want to just sit down to read through the Quran just so you can say you've read the entire Quran, go ahead and do that. But it sucks. It's a terrible book. It's the worst book ever. And whoever wrote it sucks.
You're just saying that because you hate Islam, man. What's wrong with you? So Ash says, to be fair, most religious literature outside of Christianity is kind of crap.
Whoa, Ash Mays out here. And then all of a sudden, the Bhagavad Gita catching strays. Tripitaka out here catching strays. What do they do to you, Ash Mays? Huh?
Well, first off, thanks to Ash Mays, big celebrity for being here and making us making it just a chat. Just a chat. But
the Humanist Manifesto, catching strays.
And there are quite some books.
The God Delusion, catching strays.
There are quite some books that are non-Christian religious books that I wouldn't call crap or terrible. Yeah, as much as they might be wrong, I would say I read the Bhagavad Gita, and it is actually a nice book. It is a nice book that actually makes you think about your purpose in life and all that. It's actually pretty good. Okay, to be fair, you said most. So
Kama Sutra out here catching stray.
The funny thing is that the Kama Sutra isn't actually mostly about sex, about all the sexual stuff.
Change this episode's name to Catching Strays. Thanks to Ash Mays, he just declared war on all religion, all religious literature.
Yeah, so some of the books out there can be pretty good, but yeah, to be fair, you said most. So, but yeah, the Quran is terrible. No, I would say that the Quran is uniquely terrible. The Quran is uniquely terrible.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely uniquely terrible. Anyway, let us continue. Hello all. AP, when you were a Muslim reading the Quran, did you ever truly believe that it was the word of God, or did you read it and was like, WTF? I did believe it. I mean, to be fair, when I was a Muslim and I sat down and read the Quran the first and second times, I genuinely did believe it. I mean, you know how it is. It's not like I sat down there and I was like, wow, look at this. This is definitely the word of Allah. I believe that it is the word of Allah to begin with, which is why I sat down and read it and had utmost reverence and respect for it and acknowledged that it is the word of Allah, which is a problem because that made me struggle. Because on the one hand, I think, I'm taught that that this is the perfect revealed word of Allah. On the other hand, I'm reading it and it's really stupid. But I also really wanted to read it, so I'm trying to suppress the judgment that it is a really stupid book, and trying to get through it. So I then ask questions and have my doubts about it, but I still want to get through it. And after the first time reading it, I still maintain that it is the word of Allah. I just thought I must be the problem. The problem must be me. It can't be this book. This book is the word of Allah. I must be the problem. That's what I thought, which is why I wanted to read it a second time. And then it just got worse because I read books before. I read Twilight before. Yes, I admit it. I'm not ashamed. I read Twilight before that. I enjoyed Twilight. I read Twilight because I was curious, okay? Stop judging me. I read Twilight because I was curious. It was actually a good book. It was entertaining. And yes, I even at some point thought I really need to go to sleep, but I can't because this is so engaging. So, okay, one more page. Okay, one more page, and I fell asleep reading Twilight. This actually happened to me, and I'm unashamed to admit it. Judge me, do whatever you want. And then I read the Quran. The Quran was the opposite of that. Stephen M says, sorry, old news. We can still laugh at the tater. It's not old news, it's good news. Baby Dean says MW and DW should do a Proclaimers parody song called "I Would Rip 5,000 Korans." What do you think about that?
Kind of doesn't fit with the meter. Miles, Korans.
Well, then you have to make it work. You have to make it work. Gay. You are gay. AP
I say
secretly-
ayahs. That fits better. I
AP
would
secretly a
rip
13-year-old
5,000 ayahs.
It's a teenage girl romance novel. Okay, yes, I know. Twilight is a teenage girl romance novel. But I read it. And I have no regrets. I admit it. I read it. And it was significantly better than the Quran. Unsubscribed. Motor Gear Solid says Mike Winger is speedrunning Islam to a death threat to prove his point that it's violent. To be honest, you don't have to do much about it. You can just say Islam bad, and you will get death threats in your DM box. Unity's strength, science, technology, and logical reasoning has brought humanity 1,000 times further in only 200 years than any religion ever is several thousand years. Atheist nations have the highest IQ in the world. David, what do you say about this great rebuttal of religion?
What atheist nations?
What atheist nations?
What atheist nations are you talking about?
Which atheist nations are you talking about? Is that all you're going to say?
I'm asking which atheist nations this person is talking to.
There are no really atheist nations except some.
That's why I'm wondering what atheist nations this person's talking about.
To be fair, you could describe China as an atheist nation. Okay.
Is that what this person is talking about? China?
How about China? How about China, David? And what about all the science, technology, and logical reasoning that brought humanity
hold on.
In 2,200 years than any religion has ever.
Wait, you're calling China? You're calling China an atheist nation, and that's where the church is blowing up extremely rapidly to the point where I think in a couple decades, China's going to have the biggest Christian population in the world. You're saying that these are the really big brain Chinese?
What about the beautiful, powerful, and happy nation of North Korea?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to say?
Super high IQs there. I'm noticing, based on the countries you're picking, they seem to be making these atheists, super big brain atheists, seem to be making some pretty crap countries where no one wants to live.
This is kind of funny. So some people bring examples like Sweden. Sweden, according to surveys, only 15 to 20% of the population strictly self-identifies as atheist. While broadly 45% or higher go by different things like non-believer, agnostic, religiously unaffiliated, but other things. Approximately 52% of Swedish adults have no official religious affiliation. Despite this high proportion of atheists, about 51 to 67% of the population remains registered members of the Church of Sweden.
Apart from that, you're talking about IQ. So it's a huge genetic component. Yeah, you had a lot of people becoming atheists in recent decades and so on. Guess what? Where'd they get those high IQs?
Dude, you missed the most important point here.
No, I didn't. The science part is the hilarious part.
I know.
Hey, unity is strength. All of the pioneers of the scientific revolution were Christians of one variety or another. They were either Catholics or they were Protestants, or you had a couple of heretics in there. Every last one of them believed in God and the Bible. And you can say, well, it had to happen somewhere. No, you actually had. Anyone in the world could have started the scientific revolution if you had some basic instruments and stuff, which people did. It wasn't random. They explained why. They started the scientific revolution. They concluded, based on their theology, that the universe is created by a rational agent. They compared the creator to various things, a cosmic architect, things like that. But anyway, the universe is mathematical. Why? Because it's made by this cosmic architect, right? So the universe is rational and intelligible, meaning it can be understood by a rational agent as well. They believed that. They also believed that human beings are created in the image of God, and that therefore they are the kinds of beings that could figure these things out. And three, they regarded it as a form of worship, right? Like they're viewing, hey, if we go and understand the universe, then we're understanding how God does things, and we're learning more about God. They viewed this as a kind of worship. And so they had this is like the original scientific hypothesis. It's the mother of all scientific hypotheses. It's the scientific hypothesis from which all other scientific hypotheses derive. They concluded, this was their hypothesis, that if this universe is created by this rational agent, and if we are created in the image of this rational agent, then when we go out there, we're going to be able to figure this out. We're going to be able to figure out the laws and stuff because we're made for this sort of thing. And that led to the scientific revolution. Now think, if you didn't have the scientific revolution right there, if you didn't have these Christians there, and you just had a bunch of atheists, why would they have concluded that the universe is rational, that there are laws, that there are neat little equations underlying everything? Why would you conclude that? Answer, you would never in a million years conclude that. There's no reason to think that if I drop this Sharpie, it's going to actually follow a little equation. Why? It's a mindless thing. Why would it be following an equation, right? So you would have never thought that. In other words, you wouldn't have thought that these little equations are out there to be discovered, and therefore you wouldn't have taken the time to go out there and discover them. But two, even if you thought the universe is rational and intelligible, why would you think that you're the sort of thing that can actually figure these things out? Oh, because we're smart. Well, according to your worldview, you're basically an advanced ape. Would you trust what an ape concludes? Yeah, would you? Right. So in other words, science would have never gotten off the ground from atheists. Atheism is parasitic, right? It takes what other people have accomplished before them, and then it goes in there and says, it latches on there it latches on there like a lamprey clinging to the side of a shark, and the shark's swimming through the water, and the lamprey's going, look how fast I'm swimming. Yeah, because you're clinging to a shark. That's what atheism is. It clings to other things, and then somehow the lamprey gets fatter and fatter and fatter, and then it takes credit for everything and says, the shark does nothing. The shark is worthless and meaningless. The only thing that matters is the great lamprey. And it's totally stupid. And if you want, anyway, point is, if you want to claim, we're so smart, at least know your role. Then I'll think you're smart.
Beast. I also want to point out something very, very funny here. Your profile name is Unity is Strength. And David just explained to you that all, if not all, the vast majority of the scientific revolution were Christians. What does that tell you about Christianity? It is the unity. They were united in one thing. In fact, their reasoning was generally that they wanted to advance science to better understand God. You see, by your reasoning here, science, technology, and logic reasoning has brought humanity 1,000 times further. However, those people that you credit were united in their pursuit of science for their belief in God. Surely you must now, in combination with your username, conclude that they were pursuing something that was strong and good, Christianity. This is not some reasoning that I would use. I'm just kind of trying to reason with your reasoning here. Dear Unity is Strength. Maybe you should take your own advice here and say, you know what? Maybe Christianity is actually a very, very nice thing. Because those guys had a point, right? AP is Team Edward. That's pretty messed up. David doesn't know what that is. Charles Daniel Zerino says, hey AP, if you are stuck in a prison and a warden would give you a choice between Quran and Mein Kampf, what would you choose to gain freedom? I would choose Mein Kampf, of course. What are you talking about? How is this even a question? Mein Kampf immediately. Give me Mein Kampf. UK wants a Muslim tater arrested. Historic. I know it's pretty messed up. Quite Islamophobic. To be honest, Dr. David Wood and Mike Winger are very hard to tell apart. Didn't Anthony Flew become a Christian? David Wood and Mike Winger are indeed very difficult to tell apart.
No, as far as I know, Anthony Flew didn't become a Christian. He became a kind of theist. So he believed in a designer.
By the way, since we talked about China earlier, and some people put this very insulting, reminded of this very, very insulting meme of the leader of China. I must say that you should never ever share pictures like this online, because China really doesn't like it. China is really offended by it. You should never put this guy and Winnie the Pooh together. China really does not like this. They will come after you. Just so you know, if you don't like China's politics and policies and geopolitics, you should never, ever put this guy and Winnie the Pooh together. It might be very, very offensive to China, just so everybody knows. Kyle the Kilt says it was to get a Quran for study and reference. If I was to get a Quran for study and reference, I can't read. Would Sahih International be the best translation to get?
I'd go with the study Quran.
The gay one? The modernist one? The study Quran? That is literally called the study Quran? That has modern and reformist interpretations in it? So
they're pretty darn good, and they have commentaries. You said for study and reference. That has good notes where they will give you the main interpretations of the main Muslim commentators over the centuries.
I see. Well, I would. So Sahih International is very good because it is accessible and it's online and it's widespread there, and it generally has easy to understand language. I wouldn't say it is the most. It is also quite accurate. I wouldn't say it's the most accurate. I also wouldn't say it's the easiest to read. That said, it represents the Quran in a way that is more faithful to how terribly it is actually written. So it could be a good choice. But what's his name? MAS Abdul Halim. If you want...
Dude, if you just seriously complained about the study Quran as far as revisionist, modernist interpretations, like Halim's translation, so that's the Oxford, that is actually possibly the easiest to read.
Yeah.
But he screws with some stuff. But yeah, I'll say this. If you want to actually read a Quran and get through it, I'd probably go with Halim's. And so, guys, if you just type in Oxford Quran into Amazon and stuff, the Halim comes up.
His Quran is actually easier to follow because he corrupts, because he transforms the readability, he makes it more readable, but it's not necessarily an accurate representation of how the Quran is supposed to be read. But if you just want to go through it, just want to make it a readable, a good experience to go through it all, I would suggest Halim. That said, Sahih International is more accurate to the material. Pictol, which one would you say is the most accurate?
Pictol is pretty good. People are usually surprised by how accurate Pictol is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because it's like one of the older ones.
That said, it does a little bit of a perversion, which I don't really appreciate when people do it. To be fair, David does it too, which is writing Quran verses in KJV English.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. We should come up with a new Pictol version where it just takes out all the KJV English.
Like, there's something about the whole KJV English when people even do it today when they pray or when they read the Bible that I can appreciate, because it's a reverent text and you use that language to read that reverent text or to pray. People do the same thing in the Catholic Church or in the Greek churches, for example, where they, instead of using contemporary language, they read or pray in the more ancient way that you pray or read. I don't think you need to do that with the Quran. You're giving it respect for no reason and comparing it somehow to the Bible. I don't think it should be done. Read it exactly as it is written. It's trash. Zach Kelpie. Zach from Maine first project here. Nick is a Noahide. I look forward to seeing you next week at DebateCon. I should give people an update on this. I will not, as it stands right now, I will not be at DebateCon. I know I said that I will be there.
Isn't it, when you say you're going to be somewhere, isn't it like a coin flip basically on whether you're actually going to be there?
So why do you have to?
I'm just saying, because, hey, AP, can't wait to see you. Oh, yeah, I decided not to go. What, matter of fact, wasn't it like that? Were you going to the UK for the conference just like, 2 months ago? And you're like, yes, I'll be there. And everyone's like, yeah, AP's going to be there. And then you're just, I'm not going.
Well, to be fair, I had I had a good excuse there because I had just been to the UK and just came back, but then I was supposed to go back again within one or 2 weeks, and that was very difficult for me to do in the middle of moving and stuff as well. With this conference is we were supposed to do a thing where I'm just there to meet and greet with people,
Boring.
and James wanted to have me possibly jump in for a debate because I rejected most of the debates, but he said maybe if I need somebody, would you fill in? I said, yeah, sure, why not? And as it seems right now, I don't think it's going to happen. And I just traveled a lot, bigly. I talked with James about it, and I think we decided to skip for now. So I don't think I'm going to be at DebateCon this time, but I will be at the next one. Eli said, love you both.
Hey, Eli.
What's up, Eli? Always wonderful to see you here. And thank you so much for the super chat. Very generous, very beautiful. Eli is one of the funnest people that I've interacted with.
Eli's pretty cool.
He's pretty cool. Blue Moon says, out of topic question, can you explain what is going on with all the Catholic plus Islam versus Protestant and Jews posts? Comment we see lately. Father Calvin, since when priests call for wars? I honestly do not think that Calvin, the weasel, would side with Islam. He is, however, obsessed with Jews nowadays. But there are some who make excuses for Islam, few, and who obsessively attack Jews while distracting from Islam. I think that those who think it is our biggest issue right now to tackle Judaism and Israel and not in any way talk about Islam, honestly, I think those who in general today think our biggest issue is Judaism and Israel, in my opinion, even if they do not know it, are simply serving Islam. Our biggest issue, no doubt, is Islam. If you want to deal with a different religion, if you want to deal with different entities, that is what you should be focusing on. If you think, no, we should all be focusing on Jews and Israel, you're basically just doing Islam's dirty work for them.
Hey, yo.
What?
When it was mentioned in the last live stream that Andrew Tate was arrested, I went to the AP article and it said, I kind of skipped around, so I don't know if they said it, but I said the warrant is sealed, so I couldn't give details on it. But Milk Bar here says Andrew and Tristan Tate are in federal custody in America to reportedly be extradited to the UK to face criminal charges, including for sex trafficking and grape. So apparently, because I mean, the Tate brothers have done stuff here in the US as well, like screwed up stuff. But if Milk Bar's right, and he's usually right, it's they're arresting him to take him to the UK to face charges.
No, that's the reporting actually. UK seeks Miami arrests them as UK seeks extradition over rape case. I think they were specifically arrested for the extradition to the UK.
Okay, so not just arrested, but afterwards you're going to be extradited too. It's specifically, hey, they want you, so we're arresting you here and sending you over there.
I think the US also has certain things going on, but I don't know if they actually press charges. But I think right now they are arresting them to send them over to the UK, and the UK will then start their case, which would be good because in the UK there are multiple very firmly established cases of rape and sex trafficking for Andrew Tate. I know about the ones about Andrew Tate in the UK, possibly also for Tristan Tate. Definitely sex trafficking. I'm not sure about the rape. So I hope this is the first time that Britain actually cracks down on Muslim rapists and sex traffickers. Soldier of Christ says, David Wood, don't say anything. but blink twice if Mike Winger is your hero.
I'll say whatever I want. He's not my hero. He's a total loser.
He blinked twice. David just blinked twice. Dude, we can all play it back and see.
I didn't blink twice. I blinked like 20 times.
He just blinked twice in the time that he finished what he was saying. David is a wingling. Man. Adamo12 says, Urban Dictionary definition of Tate, potato head. Baz the Dark Horse, now that Mike is going after Islam, perhaps he will leave the Klingons alone for a while. Bookworm, David with friends like AP, who needs enemies? Just kidding, God bless you all. God bless you too. Obedience is key says, I get the feeling many of us have turned away from God. I believe the world is more in a bad place because of this. God bless you, AP and David. I have nothing to add. Dude, why the 30 super chats left? What the heck? My plan was
talk for like 3.5 hours. Dude, we're almost an hour and a half into this review of this Nick Matau debate, and we still don't even.
Dude, my plan was literally to just go through the super chats that I have in front of me, and then to look at the video. And now I see 30 more super chats.
To be fair, that has happened to me repeatedly. Where I'll be starting a show, and I'll be like, "Oh, let's take these first 5 super chats." But as I'm reading those, like a bunch more come in, and then spend the next half hour going through super chats.
Yeah, I mean, I really appreciate the super chats, but I can't do my job. Okay.
Yeah, you're slowing down an already very slow person.
That's pretty messed up.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so this is Nick Matau. He was talking to several people. The first who came in to his live stream is Korra.
I don't know. Maybe I'll put
Korra the Explorer. She didn't even use her voice changer.
All right, well, have a good night.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye. Korra, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, man? So I have an issue with your first prompt. You said 2 big
How old are you?
problems for the world. I'm 20.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the prompt is,
Why does she talk like this, man? Yo, man, what's up? What were his prompts? I want to hear his prompts. When did he give his prompts?
You too. Welcome.
hey, hi,
Mia Carlani, stay away from Evelyn.
Are they listed?
Unlocked,
somewhere?
and it's not going to be the last. Bring up Korra the Tamey. Don't run.
Who? What?
Bring up Korra the Tamey. Don't run. Don't act like you didn't hear me.
I have no idea who you're talking about or what.
I would for that I wouldn't even bring it up when you're running. I would have been like, no, I'm not bringing it up if you're going to talk like that.
This is the funniest thing to me, man. Muslims think they own the world.
Mhm.
Muslims think they own everything. Muslims think they are in charge wherever they go. Oh, bring this person up. Bring it up right.
Do this
Don't
or
act
you're
like you didn't
running.
hear me. Don't act like you didn't hear me.
Yeah.
I would have a quick answer to this, which is, all right, piss off. I'm not bringing her on.
Yeah, seriously.
Goodbye.
Do this or you're scared and you're running. What I hear is, here's a stupid, childish manipulation tactic that really works for our little community when we're talking to each other, and we're dumb enough and we think low enough of you that we think that this stupid low-level manipulation tactic will actually make you do what we want. I'd be like, no.
Super entitled.
You're about to know. Bring her up. Look at the requests.
There's no one. There's Shui and Juhadia. Yeah,
The world would be way better.
Okay, I don't know what his prompts are, but I'll just go to when Korra comes up and see what's
What was the original one called? I can't even tell which one it is because it didn't say.
chat or something.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, have a good night.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye. Korra, go ahead.
Yo, what's up, man? So I have an issue with your first prompt. You said 2 big
How old are you?
problems for the world. I'm 20.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the prompt
Why does Nick sound like Destiny? I just noticed. I'm noticing.
is 2 big problems for the world, leftism and Islam.
Mm-hmm.
How is this?
So now I interrupted the prompt.
You said 2 big
How old are you?
problems for the world. I'm 20.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so the prompt is 2 big problems for the world, leftism and Islam.
Mm-hmm.
How is Islam as a religion a problem?
I'm against things that are anti.
All right, so the prompt is two big problems for the world, leftism and Islam. How is Islam as a religion a problem?
Okay, the prompt is two big problems for the world, leftism and Islam.
I'm against things that are anti-Western ideology, and I find Islam to be, for the most part, anti-Western ideology.
Okay, and what's the argument for Western ideologies being superior in any way, shape, and or form?
It's my opinion. It's not. I'm not asking you to think that way. I'm saying I'm against things, and I want things to be more Western. I'm not saying that you have to think that way.
Yeah, well, I'm asking you, what's the proof for that objectively being better? Unless you're advocating for something that is objectively worse.
I didn't say anything about objectiveness. I'm saying that I prefer it. That's what I said. You're not listening.
Yeah, well, I didn't object to that. What I'm saying is, are you advocating for something that is better or worse objectively?
I'm saying that I prefer it. I'm not going to change my answer just because you continue to ask. It doesn't matter what you ask. My answer is this is what I...
This is the funny thing. I live in the West. I love the West. I love Western values. I want to continue living in Western values. Western values are fantastic. They're good. Islam is against Western values. Therefore, Islam is a problem. Okay, but how can you prove that Western values are objectively better? Who cares? Who cares, man?
What's
if
weird
is Islam is against our values, then it is bad. That's it. Get rid of it. I don't want it. I don't want something to assert that it is better than my values and then try to change them. If you think it's good, go and live in Muslim countries.
And what's crazy is, despite their protests, Muslims agree. Korra agrees. Why? How do we? Yeah. Because she can move to Afghanistan right now if she wanted to. She's not.
She's not.
She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to go anywhere near a place governed by Islam.
No, but it's because they're being bombed by the West. That's why they're so bad.
So she actually agrees with Nick. Nick's just way more self-aware and honest with himself.
Yeah.
I asked you a question.
You can't interrupt me. You're not going to interrupt me. Okay, relax, calm down.
Right. That's how you regulate.
I find it to be. That's what I prefer in society. I do not prefer Islamism. I do not prefer what's taught in Islam. I do not prefer that ideology coming here into the West or America.
Is what you prefer better or worse for society?
What?
It's a straightforward question. Is what you prefer better or worse for society?
What kind of question is that?
I'm asking you.
That's an insane question. It's not a good faith question.
Western ideologies. It is good faith. It's a simple question. Is what you prefer better or worse?
You're asking me that you're implying that I'm possibly saying that we should have something that's worse? I think Islam is worse for society. I think Islam is worse. I think Islam is worse for society.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you.
I understand what you did, and like all Muslims.
This is the funny thing. This whole entitlement. I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you. You have to answer my question. I didn't ask you that.
It's always we have to be in charge, and my goodness.
She wants to make the whole discussion about, well, prove that your Western values are better. So he's clearly saying this is not my argument.
Yeah. And it's like, this is like a microcosm of what he's talking about. Islam comes in and says, you have to do this way. And we're like, we don't want to do it that way. No, you have to do it this way. Korra comes on here. This is how this conversation is going to. No, it's not even. You know it's going to get. This is how we're going to do it.
I want to do it my way. Well, then prove it. Your way is better. Prove your way is better. Come on, prove it. I don't want to. I just want to live my way. Well, prove it. What if it's not the best?
And this goes back to the foundations of Islam. This illiterate 7th century Arabian caravan robber thinks that he gets to tell the entire world what to do, and then he imprints that stupidity onto the entire community. And then they're like that. Hey, you have to do things this way. But that's like Exhibit A and why we don't want you in control of anything.
I can give you a very, very short case for why Western civilization is better for society than Muslim civilization or Islamic civilization. Western civilizations are doing significantly better, have the highest human standards, highest quality of life in the world, highest education in the world, highest reported self-reported happiness in the world. whereas have the highest advancement in the world, whereas Muslim societies are garbage.
Yeah, they suck.
They suck. So much that even Muslims themselves want to come and live in Western countries. The only countries that you could argue are quite well off among Muslim countries are the oil-rich countries, because they can just lean back, and sell their oil, and then invite immigrants to make them work for them. Other than that, if you don't have other factors, just by the values of the society itself, what Muslim societies suck. They are garbage. They are trash, which is why Muslims want to come and live in the West, and then make the excuse that they can't live in Muslim countries because Muslim countries are being oppressed by the West. There are lots of Muslim countries that you can go and live in that have never been touched by the West, that have never been bothered by the West, that the West hasn't attacked or fought with in any way, shape, or form, as she likes to say it, within the last 100 years. There are lots of Muslim countries that don't have direct conflict with the West. You can go to Indonesia and live there. You can go to Malaysia and live there. You can go to some other garbage Muslim countries and live there. You can there's literally no excuse to this at all. And if your idea is, no, I can't live in Muslim countries because the West is oppressing and bombing Muslim countries, I can't do that. And then you actually want to come and live in the West, you freaking hypocrite. Go and stand with your Muslim brothers and sisters. Go live there.
And like all Muslims, you guys try to deflect from the subject. I think there are problems. One second, you have to. Okay, you keep interrupting, then this conversation is not going to be going anywhere, right? I think you're interrupting because you're scared to go forward with the conversation. So let's try to calm down. Okay, don't just try to get kicked because you're scared to have the conversation. I find Islam to be. You keep interrupting though. That's not the definition of somebody who's calm. I need my question answered. Doesn't matter what you need. I don't give a shit what you need, right? I'm telling you. Okay, you're still okay. Listen, people, I don't care what you think. I'm trying to tell you. You have to relax. You're trying to get kicked because you're scared to go forward with the conversation. This is what every Muslim does when they don't have answers for something. I'm telling you what I determine to be worse. Muslims, like every single time I argue with a Muslim, they try to deflect, right? I know what you're going to do. I'm going to say, obviously, this is why it's a bad faith question, that of course I find it to be better than Islam. No shit. Why would anyone in the world advocate for something against something else, but they find that second thing to be better? Why would I do that? Of course you know the answer to that. It's a bad faith question. Is that fair? That no one in the world, hold on, stop. No, but I'm asking, is that fair? Is there anyone in the world who would say, I advocate for A over B, but I find B to be better? That's stupid, okay? So instead of answering a bad faith, ridiculous question, which I know where you're going with.
That was actually quite an interestingly impressive explanation of why that is a stupid question.
Dude's smart, man.
I'm surprised.
You're surprised he's smart?
Yeah.
That this is what you're going to do. I will say yes to that. And then you'll say, well, what about this, this, and that? No, I do not find Western ideology or any ideology to be perfect. So of course you can point out things that are bad about fill in the blank, regardless of what ideology you're talking.
I know I'm joking. I know Nick is a very smart guy. I know he's a very good debater. I know he's a very smart guy. I've been following him. I have been following him, and I think he's fantastic.
Then why are you attacking him and saying that you're shocked that any intelligent thing came out of his mouth?
Well, I don't know. He looks like he could be Turkish, and that's why I thought he's stupid.
That is true. He could pass for Turkish.
Yeah.
Talking about. So instead, the reason I wrote the top prompt, which is what you came up here to talk about, right? The top prompt isn't, I find everything else to be more perfect or even perfect at all. I'm saying I find this to be worse. So you either have an argument on why Islam is not worse, or you're an adult, you're more than welcome to go along your way. But that is my prompt.
All right, perfect. But you didn't answer my question. My question is not, is Western values better than Islam?
You can ask it again. You're going to ask it again. You can ask it again, and I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer the exact same way. I'm going to answer the exact same way. Feel free to ask the question again. I promise you, everything's going to be answered. Stop. You can ask the question one more. Okay, listen, just calm down. You can ask the question again, and I promise you I'm going to answer it the exact same way. I know the Muslim tricks. I understand what you're trying to do. I'm saying that the reason Islam is one of the two big problems for the world is because I find it to be worse. Even if you can start to tell me what you find problematic about Western ideology, that is called a deflection. That's what Muslims are doing all the time with this question. They either deflect to Christianity, they deflect to Judaism, they deflect to what they find problematic about Western ideology. It doesn't matter what I think.
I just love that he doesn't give them at all what they want to do to people, what they want from people.
About Judaism, Christianity, or Western ideology. I find this one to be a problem. That's my claim. As you can read, I assume, unlike your prophet. Go ahead.
Oh, Muhammad out here catching strays now. First we had Ash Mays attack all religions and insult all religions. And now we've got this guy talking trash about Muhammad not being able to read.
I hope he doesn't now start. I hope she doesn't now start crying about you insulted my
Christianity or Western ideology. I find this one to be a problem. That's my claim. As you can read, I assume, unlike your prophet. Go ahead.
Okay, beautiful. So I'm
okay. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Okay, beautiful.
Korra thinks insulting Muhammad is beautiful.
Asking you, why is Islam worse for society?
That's not what you asked.
Answer that question?
Not what you asked. That's
no,
not at all what you asked.
I'm asking you that right now. I didn't say I asked you. Past
you
tense.
said.
This is what happens when you're illiterate.
I'm
asking you
is it a problem to be illiterate?
That's
interesting. Is that Is that a problem to be illiterate?
No, it's not a problem.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha. Because your prophet was illiterate.
I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure, you know?
said that's what happens when you're illiterate, which is the biggest irony, which is the biggest irony from a Muslim to call something illiterate, okay? So you weren't asking, I will. So just want to make something very clear. You were not asking that at all. You never asked that. You are now.
Yeah, she did say, I'm going to ask my question again, but then she asked a completely different question.
Now finally asking that. So to answer your question, what I find to be problematic with Islam is the things that are taught in the Quran and in Sunnah.
Okay, give me an example of something.
I think it's contradictory, and I think those contradictions of people, they will utilize that to try to change a society in the West specifically.
I asked you an example from the Quran and the Sunnah, according to you. Can you give me an example from the Quran?
Quran.
Can you give me an example?
When they have white accents until they say Quran.
Can you give me an example?
He's funny, man.
I find problematic.
Within the Quran, yes.
What about Sunnah?
Oh, yeah, Sunnah too. Yeah, man.
Okay,
give me an example.
To make sure. I think it's subversion of women, Jews, Christians, even polytheists, people that are kafir. I find that to be problematic.
Wait, so the concept of people not being believers is problematic?
Yeah, that's what he said, Korra. It's exactly what he said.
Okay, let's try this again.
Christians, even polytheists, people that are kafir, I find that to be problematic.
Wait, so the concept of people not being believers is problematic?
I think the actions you take against non-believers or women or others is problematic, not something that you just disagree. Sure. Ibn Abbas, right, and Ibn Kathir both agree in their tafsir. Ibn Abbas, one of the companions of the Prophet, when it talks about killing the polytheists. A lot of Muslims will say, oh, no, that was just at a specific time. But Ibn Abbas and Ibn Kathir specifically say in the tafsir that actually it wasn't just for a specific time, and there was a 4-month period put onto the polytheists, specifically to remove all treaties and peace with them. And then if they broke something within that 4 months, then you can attack them before the 4 months. But even those that did not break any treaty, you still take the same actions against them at the end of 4 months, just because they were
Yeah, that's the commentary on Surah 9, verse 5.
Yeah. That's the interpretation of chapter 9, verse 5.
That's the ayah of the sword, guys.
I would always use a better example, which is chapter 9, verse 29. There is no ambiguity about it.
Yeah, we prefer 9:29. I mean, keep in mind, he's right about Surah 9, verse 5. But if you read Surah 9, verse 5, without the surrounding verses, it'll get pointed out that you're taking it out of context, because you do have some things they can point to and go, oh, but obviously it can't mean that, because look at what happens right after it. That's where like a commentary like Ibn Kathir's commentary would come in handy, because he actually breaks things down.
When it comes to chapter 9, verse 29, which is what I would always use, and what David also uses, because David is always copying me. In chapter 9, verse 29, we see the following: fight those who do not believe in Allah or in the last day, and who do not consider unlawful what Allah and His Messenger have made unlawful, and who do not adopt the religion of truth, that is Islam, from those who were given the scripture, that is the Jews and the Christians. Fight until they give the jizya willingly while they are humiliated. This is a blanket command to fight the Jews and the Christians and others who do not accept Islam.
What are you asking me? I'm saying Ibn Kathir.
You said Ibn Abbas and Ibn Kathir in their
Kathir.
tafsir. The tafsir of what?
Ibn
What chapter and
Kathir,
what verse?
Yeah, I can get that for you.
Yeah,
All
Surah.
right, go grab it.
That's the commentary on Surah 9
know
verses.
the
It's the whole
verse
passage,
about the
9, 1
polytheist?
through 8 or 9.
I mean, you're making the claim, man. You bring
I'm
the
asking
evidence.
you, do you know it? I can get it. I have no problem with that, but I'm asking you,
Yeah,
do you know
and
that?
I told you to go get it.
I understand, but you're not answering the question.
She
Do you know?
Hey,
I don't know how she gets. If someone said, "I told you to go," I'd be like, "Get out of here."
This is also a nasty thing to do.
You
It's
tell
like
me. You tell me what to do.
She knows exactly what verse we're talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Chapter 9, verse 5.
Hey,
That,
just get the evidence.
Stop.
Let's get the evidence, bud.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to be like some kind of slave that you guys still haven't today. I have it, but
So go get it.
okay.
Yeah.
So stop
What you're
acting
supposed to say is,
condescending.
"I ain't your dimmy. Quit bossing me around. I'm not your dimmy. I am not, have never been, and never will be your dimmy. So speak respectfully, or go somewhere else."
I don't even understand the reaction. Is she dumb or something?
Bud.
Okay, listen. I'm not going to be like some kind of slave that you guys still haven't today. I have it, but
So go get it.
I'm not going to be a slave, so go get it.
okay, so stop acting condescending. I'm asking you, I have it right now, but before I'm asking you, do you know of this verse? Or
Are
you
you
trying
going
to
to
say,
go get it? This is a deflection from you going and getting the reference. So go
I
grab it.
already have it. I'm asking you,
So go ahead
do
and read it,
you
man.
I got you. I already
calm
explained
down,
what it
right?
said.
So until you read it,
Okay,
I'm not
so-
going to answer any
Calm
questions.
Okay, listen.
Just
Hold
calm
on.
the fuck
Hold
down.
on.
These Muslims, they think they're in charge wherever they go.
And really, that's all that's required in their minds for them to have this this victory. Yes, we actually told him what to do and made him do it. You see, Islam is very strong.
I speak in the name of Allah, and I order you to go and get it and to do what I say, or else I will humiliate you. Oh, wait a minute, why are you fighting back against me? This is Islamophobic.
Hold on. Listen, if this is your idea of and the people, don't unmute. Okay, stay muted. Okay,
Good doggy, stay muted.
if you unmute one more time, I will kick you. It's Surah
Bro.
9:5. Okay, it is Surah 9:5. It's Surah 9:5. Okay, or
Yeah.
Surah 9 Ayah 5. But I'm asking you a question. If you're not willing to have a conversation, there's no way. Like, I find it funny that people are like, "Oh, she's cooking."
Black Angel would have kicked her years ago. I know. I honestly would do that. I mean, I have no doubts, and I'm proud of that.
We're proud of that.
If Korra or some other one other of these dumb, especially the low tier debaters like Korra and Doc Clips and all the others came and were like, look, it is me. It is me. I am famous among the retarded people, and I want you to debate me. Stop running now. Ha ha. I tell you to do this. I would kick them immediately. I don't care. I don't care if they then clip this and like, look, he kicked me because he's scared. I really do not care. I really do not care. Go do that somewhere else. I think he's doing the right thing.
She doesn't even know what verse I'm talking about, which, by the way, is a very, very pretty famous verse. So for a Muslim not to know this is kind of insane. But instead of having a conversation or maybe answering the question like, hey, do you know what I'm talking about? You're just doing this fake forced laugh.
Amen. And I did know exactly what verse you were talking about. I knew exactly what verse you were talking about. I just wanted you to do your homework. So then why were you afraid?
I've already done my homework.
So now I want you. Okay, so pull up the reference where Ibn Kathir and Ibn Abbas say that you can just go like the point that's being made.
It's in the tafsir.
You said the tafsir of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Kathir.
Yes. Well, no, I said what Ibn Abbas said in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. That is true.
Okay, so yes, the athar of Ibn Abbas in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. Now I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Do you have a problem with self-defense?
Self-defense?
What does that have to do with what I said? What did I say to you?
She thinks 9-5 is about self-defense. This is bad, man. Pull up that. You can pull up the commentary, man.
Is it in the unabridged? Is it in the abridged version?
I don't know. Pull up a site, man. alim.org or something like that. Go to alim.org. What?
Ibn Abbas.
Oh, go to Ibn Kathir, man. I'll check out Ibn
Abbas. No, it is Ibn Abbas within the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. That's what he's arguing. So here, this is Ibn Kathir commenting on chapter 9, verse 5. This is the ayah of the sword. He said he referred specifically to Ibn Abbas here within the tafsir. However, let's read here. So when the sacred months have passed, meaning upon the end of the 4 months during which we prohibited you from fighting the idolaters, and which is the grace period we gave them, then fight and kill the idolaters wherever you may find them. Allah's statement next means then fight the mushrikeen, the polytheists, wherever you find them, means on the earth in general, except for the sacred area. For Allah said, and fight now with them at al-Masjid al-Haram, unless they fight you there, and fight not with them. But if they attack you, then fight them. Allah said here, and execute and capture them, executing some and keeping some as prisoners, and besiege them and lie in wait for them in each and every ambush. Do not wait until you find them. Rather seek and besiege them in their areas and forts. Gather intelligence about them in the various roads and fairways, so that what is made wide looks ever smaller to them. This way they will have no choice but to die or embrace Islam.
To what? Die or embrace Islam. You either die or you embrace Islam. And then it continues with the verse right there, which is where it says it.
But if they repent and perform the salah and give the zakah, then leave their way free. Verily Allah is oft forgiving.
It's slay them wherever they find them. And then, but if they repent and perform the salah, in other words, if they convert to Islam, then leave their way free. Okay, guys, that's called forced conversion.
Abu Bakr as-Siddiq used this and other honorable ayat as proof for fighting those who refrain from paying the zakah. This is actually part of the first war after Muhammad's death, which is, or wars or battles, which is the wars of apostasy. After Muhammad died, lots of Muslims, lots of people who were loyal to Muhammad throughout the Arabian Peninsula started leaving and going their own way, or refusing to pay zakah, to pay the obligatory money that they ought to pay to the head of the state. So Abu Bakr, the caliph, declared war on all of them. Not just because they were non-Muslims, not just because they didn't abide by Islam, it is because they refused to do something that is part of Islam. So just because they refused to give the zakah, which the Quran commands here, he declared war on them. So Ibn Kathir in his interpretation here says that if they refuse to just do this, you may declare war on them. These ayah allowed fighting people unless and until they embrace Islam and implement its rulings and obligations. Is this defensive?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, keep in mind, this is after Muhammad conquered them. Yeah. Muhammad won. He won. And then it's, okay, Now we're giving you a little window. We're giving you time to decide whether you want to convert or just run and get the heck out of here. But at the end of these 4 months, time's up. You convert or die.
So this is the verse in question here. Korra wants to argue that this is self-defense. The foremost interpreters of the Quran clearly say, as we can also clearly see when we read the Quran itself, they say this verse allowed fighting people unless and until they embrace Islam and implement its rulings and obligations. If they do not convert to Islam and implement all its rulings and obligations, they are to be fought and slaughtered, according to the Quran itself. Allah mentioned the most important aspects of Islam here, including what is less important. Surely the highest elements of Islam, after the two testimonials, are the prayer, which is the right of Allah, the exalted and ever high. He is very, very high. And the zakah, which benefits the poor and needy. These are the most honorable acts that creatures perform, and so on and so forth. If you do not do these things, Muslims have the right to fight you and to kill you. I have been commanded, and then he quotes Muhammad here. Muhammad said, I have been commanded to fight the people until they testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. Establish the prayer and pay the zakah. So according to this very interpretation, once again, Muhammad himself already said and confirmed, in line with this Quran verse, that he has been sent, or he has been commanded by Allah himself to fight all people until they become Muslims, until they convert to Islam. So all disbelievers are to be fought and turned into Muslims. This honorable verse was called the verse of the sword, and so on and so forth, about which Ad-Dahhak bin Muzahim said, it abrogated every agreement of peace between the Prophet and any idolater. Every treaty and every term. So this verse here abrogated every agreement of peace between the Prophet and the idolaters and disbelievers. Al-Awfi said that Ibn Abbas commented, no idolater had any more treaty or promise of safety ever since Surah Bara was revealed. This chapter here was revealed. This is what Nick Matau is talking about here. The 4 months, in addition to all peace treaties conducted before Bara was revealed and announced, had ended by the 10th of the month of Rabi al-Akhir. So, according to this interpretation of the Quran, which is highly scholarly and highly reliable in Islam, in Islamic scholarship, this Quran verse, chapter 9, verse 5, which says, slay the unbelievers wherever you find them after the 4 months. This Quran verse, according to the Islamic interpreters and scholars, authorizes Muslims to fight disbelievers everywhere until they become Muslims and fulfill the commandments that Allah gave to the Muslims. So all disbelievers ought to be fought according to the Quran itself, according to the Islamic scholars, according to Muhammad. And Korra should know this, unless she's an ignorant idiot.
Just read the next verse so people know what I was talking about when I said, see this? And if any one of the polytheists seeks your protection, then grant him protection so that he may hear the words of Allah, then deliver him to his place of safety. That is because they are a people who do not know. This is what, if you bring up Surah 9, verse 5, Zakir Naik trained people to go to this verse and say, look, what are you talking about? You're escorting them. You're saying, if a polytheist says, hey, I want protection, then you grant him protection, and then you escort him to a place of safety. So obviously this can't be saying, just, slay everyone, slay all the unbelievers and so on. So anyway, Zakir Naik would pull that. But you read the commentaries and they say this is talking about messengers, right? Like in other words, you're people who are coming to you to convey some message or something like that, or people who are inquiring about Islam and they want to know more about Islam. And so, because it specifically says there that he may hear the words of Allah. So you let the person hear the words of Allah. And notice what it says. Then you deliver him to his place of safety. You escort him to a place of safety. That's the interesting part. Why would you be escorting this person to a place of safety? Why would he need an escort to take him to a place of safety? Because the verse before it says, kill these guys. And so you're allowing for people who want to hear about Islam, you're allowing them the opportunity to do so, because if they found out, hey, you know, as soon as you step on this land, they're going to chop your head off. So in other words, you escort the person to a place of safety to protect him from the Muslims who've been told to kill the polytheists.
This is the proof. In any case, it's very clear what this is saying. Kill and fight the disbelievers.
What did I say to you? No, because this is the deflection. No, hold on. Stop.
It's not a deflection. I need an answer to my question.
Stop. I
need an answer to my question, man.
You cannot change the subject, okay?
And you cannot deflect from the topic. The topic is 9-5.
If you interrupt me one more time, okay, I'm going to kick you. I don't care if you want. If you want to have this conversation, you have to stop interrupting, okay? And if you want to have this conversation, you have to answer questions. Okay, I'm going to. You can come.
You have to do this. You have to do this. She's so freaking annoying.
He kicked me after
perfect. Okay, perfect.
After he didn't do what I said. He didn't even do what I told him to do. He didn't even do what I commanded him to do. Then he kicked me.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Back up, but I'm going to ask you a very simple question, all right? You either answer the question or you move on, okay? You don't have to be up here. But what you're not going to do is try to interrupt the entire time and then somehow think you're doing well. You're doing awful so far. You either believe that this verse is talking about self-defense, in which case you are not deflecting, and in which case you should tell me why you think instead of just consistently asking me, or you don't think that, which in case you are deflecting. But what you're doing is you're doing a version of whataboutism, and you are also deflecting. So if you want to come back up, I will give you one more shot, okay? But if you want to have an actual debate, you have to have an actual debate, okay? You cannot just start consistently asking, making no claim, interrupting, and doing an obviously fake laugh. Nobody believes that's a real laugh, okay? So do you believe this verse is talking about self-defense?
Yes, 9-5 is talking about self-defense due to 9-13.
Great. So do you believe in the 4-month time period that it is talking about?
Wait, do you want to go to 9-13? The evidence that I cited was 9-13.
In a little bit. Do you believe that...
Wait, go to 9-13.
I'm going to try one more time. I told you I'm going to give you one more shot. We don't need to do this. There's many people coming up here, okay? Do you believe in the 4-month period that I mentioned earlier when you were, I hope, listening?
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely.
Okay, so what happens to the end of that 4-month period if nobody breaks anything?
Why are you not engaging with the substance I just brought you?
I understand.
9-13 proves that it's self-defense.
Okay, listen.
Do you disagree?
David.
Absolute nonsense.
Proves that it's self-defense. 9-13 says the following. Would you not fight against a people who broke their oaths and determined to expel the messenger, and they had begun the attack upon you the first time? Do you fear them? But Allah has more right that you should fear him if you are truly believers.
Since Korra likes context so much, how about the context of the verse right before this?
The context of the verse right before this is the following. And if they break their oaths after their treaty and defame your religion, then combat the leaders of disbelief, for indeed there are no oaths to them.
This is talking about criticizing and insulting the religion. They had taken an oath not to insult Islam anymore. And so you got to fight them now if they're breaking that oath.
But to be fair, insulting Islam is kind of Islamophobic, and Muslims have the right to defend themselves by killing you. Can you argue against that?
Mm-hmm.
You can't? See? You see?
It's too powerful.
It's too powerful.
I already brought this up before you did. This is you trying to deflect away.
Wait, do you disagree that it's self-defense?
It doesn't matter what.
There's also another issue here, which is and they had begun the attack upon you the first time. Why would you not fight against the people who broke their oaths and determined to expel the messenger? Okay, in this case, it may be talking about people who broke their oaths to not hate you. Even if that was a valid context here, it would still not mean that the order to fight the disbelievers, wherever you find them, is only applicable to these guys. We already read in the tafsir of Ibn Kathir that this is a general, worldwide, global command to fight the disbelievers wherever you find them. We already read that this is global. Any commentary that it makes about these specific guys is entirely irrelevant to what the motive of that order is.
And you engage with
it doesn't
Can
matter.
you engage?
It doesn't matter if I agree or disagree because I know the Muslim tricks. I can answer your questions. I have no problem doing it after you answer my stuff that I brought up first. So what you're doing is you're scared to answer this. So you're asking a question.
Brought up the
okay,
4-month period after I
last chance. Seriously, this is the last chance. If you interrupt me again, this is the last chance because I'm going to assume it's you running away. Okay? So I brought up this 4 months way before you brought up anything. Did you ask a question that I am capable of answering? Of course I did. I can also deflect away from your points to ask a question and then be like, are you scared to answer? Are you scared to answer? Why aren't you answering? This is a Muslim trick. I already brought this up. If you want to run away from it, then just be a metaphorical man and just say you want to run away from it. Or you can stop deflecting and answer what I already brought up before you try to deflect.
To be fair, Korra could be a man. We don't know. Could be a very effeminate, a very small man. We do not know this. Do you have any proof that she's actually a woman?
We've heard her use a voice changer. Maybe that was her real voice.
That's true. She's hiding under a veil. We don't know what is going on there.
What happens to the polytheists at the end of this 4 months, even if they don't attack within that first 4 months?
Okay, so the 4-month
Okay, perfect.
period is designated for the individuals in Surah At-Tawbah. At the end of the 4 months, then you are capable of fighting them. If they retaliate against you before the 4-month period, you are also capable of retaliating against them.
So why have a 4-month period?
Wait, hold on one moment. However, the 4-month period begins after a transgression against the Muslims, which means it's
Why are you
self-defense.
screaming?
I'm not screaming. I'm getting closer to my mic.
So upon
Do you
the
have a
end of
problem?
the 4 months during which we prohibited you from fighting the idolaters, and which is the grace period we gave them, then fight and kill the idolaters wherever you may find them. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, and do you want to read 9:13?
Hold
And
on.
the
Do
verses
you
before
agree with
and
that
after?
statement?
So the 4 months is in place after they have already supposedly attacked the Muslims. If during these 4 months they attack the Muslims, you may fight them and subjugate them. But after the 4 months, you may also attack and subjugate them.
Powerful. Quran strong.
And also, by the way, this ruling applies to any disbeliever out there, no matter if they have a past with you or not. However, all of this, remember, is self-defense. Beautiful.
That thinks they can get away with insulting.
Yeah, but there's
the
wait,
wife
hold on.
in
Yeah,
the-
and-
but
I was
if you
answering
think
the
that
question.
insulting the wife is going to get you places in here, it's not.
That's
It's
how
gonna get you
Muslims
blocked
act.
immediately.
That's how Muslims act. They insult women. Okay,
So
so
keep going for that.
So do you agree, right? So when the sacred months have passed, that it says upon the end of the 4 months during which we prohibited you from fighting the idolaters, of course, unless it's in self-defense, I agree with that. But during those 4 months, you're prohibited from fighting, which the grace period we gave them, as in the idolaters, then fight and kill them wherever you may find them. It doesn't say then fight and kill them if they attack you. It says after the 4 months, then fight and kill the idolaters wherever you may find them. That's the end of the sentence. I'm not cutting anything off. Do you agree with that?
I understand, yes. Now, the point that's being made here is 9:5 is a continuation of the verses prior, which says that it's about the individuals that broke the treaty. So what did they do to warrant the 4-month period?
You
Can
said,
answer that
one
question?
second, you said 9:5 is following.
Wow, so when you're on someone's live, you just have to listen to them rage on if you refuse to allow them to talk over you. This was embarrassing for him. This is a terribly written comment. But I can just say one thing, which is, if you are a Muslim and you go on somebody's live stream, and you tell that person to just do this and do that and answer this and answer that, you should expect to be muted and to be kicked. I think he was even too gracious. Nick Matau was way too patient and way too gracious with Korra the man. Don't behave like you're kings. Don't behave like you're sultans. We are not your dhimmis. The world is not your dhimmi universe. You don't tell people how to behave. You don't tell people what to do. If you want to tell people how to behave, go and do that in your underdeveloped Muslim countries. You don't tell people, you don't go around telling people what to do. You are not in charge. You Muslims are not in charge. I know that's very insulting to hear, but you're not in charge.
So you're saying...
Yeah, it's following the verses prior. It's verse 5. There's 4 verses prior.
Right. And you're saying that it's only at the end of the 4 months, and 1 through 4, it's going to say at the end of the 4 months.
No, I didn't say only at the end of the 4 months. No, I said that the
you did
reason
actually
is
say,
to why
1 second. You did say that, actually. You said...
No, I said at the end of the 4 months, you can fight them.
I'd be more than glad to make a video.
That.
Right. I can be more than glad to make a video and tell you, but you said before that and also after that, only if they attack you first. You 1000% did say that. Maybe you didn't mean to.
I said
stop,
that. Wait, no.
Stop.
Wait, you're misquoting.
Maybe stop. Maybe you didn't mean to say that, but anyone is more than happy to go into the YouTube and rewind and hear her say it was even after that period. You did say that.
No, what I said is after, then you attack. If they attack prior, then you attack them in self-defense if they do so first.
So if it's after, wait, hold on, stop.
I'm not
so
done
even
talking.
after 5 months, or sorry, 4 months, you're allowed to attack them regardless if they attack you or not.
Okay. Now, can I speak to you without
interrupting?
interrupting?
No.
Wait, is this true? I see some people say that Nick Matau is a Noahide. Is that true? It's pretty gay. No, I saw it before somewhere. Interesting. Somebody tell me if that's true or not. I'm curious. What is this, man? Ash says no. Catherine says yes.
Whoa! Fight!
Ash says no that I know of.
Fight!
Even if I hear 5,000 yeses, I believe Ash.
Chat fight!
Oh, he is? Oh, wait a minute. Ash himself is He's a Noahide. Yes. He explains it to Le Piano later. Interesting. I would like to hear more about that. I generally thought that the idea of being a Noahide is kind of a stupid thing. But that's just what I think right now, so I would like to hear about it sometime. I don't think I will think later on that it's not a stupid thing. I think it's generally a stupid thing. But I would like to hear more reasoning about it. It might not be a stupid thing. I don't know. Ash says, I abrogated my revelation. Nice. Nick is indeed a Noahide. Interesting. He says he's a Noahide like every stream. He does? Interesting.
And Ash still got it wrong.
And almost always. Or the duck clips don't work on him. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I looked into the whole... This was actually when I was... before I became a Christian. When I was... officially still an atheist. And was in my agnosticism phase. You know, at first I wanted to convert to Judaism. So, and then I did encounter this whole idea of Noahide and stuff. But I found that it's a generally, I must say, stupid thing. That's just my position. I don't mean to be rude. I just personally find it stupid. So that was my conclusion at the time. So I moved on from it. And then I became a Christian and started following the truth. So.
Yeah, AP was he was an agnostic, and then he was like, where can I get paid the most to convert? Oh, wait a minute, the Jews control everything, so I will have everything if I just become a Jew.
And then I found out that becoming a Jew is actually a very difficult thing.
He's like, no, I didn't want to do anything hard.
Yeah. They expect you to go through all this hardship and to follow all kinds of rules. I just wanted to control the world, man, and get paid. I can't do that. Sorry. It's too much work.
Oh,
wait, can I speak without interrupting? Can I speak without interruption, though?
Are you allowed to attack them?
Can I speak without interruption?
Are you allowed to attack them?
Why are you nervous laughing?
After 4 months?
Yes, after 4 months, and if they try to attack you prior, you are allowed to attack in self-defense.
What
and
if they don't attack you?
After 4 months, you're allowed to attack them in self-defense. So before, if they attack, what's the 4 months? Before the 4 months, if they attack you, you're allowed to defend yourself. But after 4 months, then you're allowed to attack them in self-defense. Okay, so before and after, you're only attacking them in self-defense.
Wait, so before the 4 months, you're not allowed to attack them in self-defense?
No, you're allowed to attack them in self-defense before the 4 months are up.
And after the 4 months?
Then you can also attack them in self-defense.
Why can't you attack them? But you can also attack them during the 4 months.
In other words, nothing changes with the 4 months, according to Korra.
Korra, are you stupid? Do you hear yourself, Korra? Are you stupid? Korra, do you hear what you just said? Why are you stupid? Korra,
why are you stupid?
Why are you stupid? Korra, you don't have to do this to yourself. Islam is making you stupid. Islam is treating you like a half-brain. It's making you stupid. Korra, you don't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. You're trying to defend stupidity, which makes you stupid. It makes you half-brained. Korra, why?
What if they don't attack you?
And even prior, even if they don't attack you within the 4 month period, you can still attack them because it's initially in self-defense because they broke a treaty.
I got you. So if they
according
don't
to the
attack
verses
you,
prior and 913.
Great.
Let's rehear what you just said. Prior to the 4 months, if they attack you, you can attack them in self-defense. During the 4 months, if they attack you, you can also attack them in self-defense. After the 4 months, you can also attack them if they attack you in self-defense. So the 4 months have absolutely no function at all here, no relevance. Great. That was a very intelligent piece of information. Thank you. We're all smarter now.
So if they don't attack you, then what?
Wait, are you going to engage with what I just said?
If
this is what happens when you don't engage with substance.
If they don't attack you, what do you get to do?
Wait, do you not hear what I just said?
Goodness.
This is what happens when you don't engage with substance.
Do you? What happens
if
you don't?
Wait,
gotcha. Great. What do you do if they don't attack you?
What if they don't attack you at the end of the 4 month period? Whoa, why am I being muted while I'm answering questions?
I didn't even mute you. I think that was you. But anyways,
no, it said moderator. But regardless.
Okay. What do you do at the end of 4 months?
I'm in the middle of answering a question now. But don't panic while I'm talking. And
nobody's
don't interrupt
panicking.
Yeah, well, when you mute someone and interrupt them, that kind of.
I literally didn't mute you, and that's ironic because you were interrupting the entire time before I finally got you to relax.
Yeah, while I was in the middle of talking, you would.
Can you just stop talking about the way you answer the question and just answer the freaking question? This is so annoying.
The entire approach seems to be just be as annoying as possible until no one wants to talk to you anymore, and then you can claim victory and claim everyone's running from you.
I didn't.
That was Nadir's tactic back in the day. Just be as annoying as possible until people are like, dude, I don't even want to freaking talk to you. Get away from me. And they go, see, everyone is running from me. And now it's like all of Dawa.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just me, right? This is such annoying behavior. It's like,
yeah,
just answer the freaking question. We don't want to hear an endless rant about how you were trying to answer the question and how you are going to answer the question. Just answer the freaking question.
Yeah. Now, the point that's being made here, and chat, if you don't see the panic, I don't know what you're looking at. The point that's being made is the significance of the 4 month period is being brought because the reason why you're even allowed to attack them is because they transgressed against the Muslims first. Surah 9 verse 13 proves that.
I thought you said it's what follows.
Wait, hold on. Surah 9 verse 5 contextualized
9:12 says that the breaking of the oaths was an oath about mocking Islam.
That's the reason why you're even allowed to attack them in the first place.
Right. So what?
So what is the purpose of the 4 months, Korra? Why is there a 4-month period?
So do you agree that it's in self-defense even
No, I
before
do
the
not.
4-month period? Okay, so read verse 13.
Yeah. So first off, you said
No, go read verse.
Okay, so you are allowed to attack them no matter what happens. Before the 4 months, during the 4 months if they attack you, and also after the 4 months have passed. And this is because it is self-defense. However, it also doesn't really explain the fact that the Quran itself, or that the interpreters of the Quran have clearly said that this is a general ruling against all non-Muslims at all times. This is such a stupid waste of time. You have listened to this annoying little dummy explain nothing and contradict herself and deny what her own religious scholars have always taught.
Sir, don't tell me what to do. Relax. I am responding to you. Okay. So first you said it's what follows up to verse 5, and now you're saying it's in 13, which wouldn't be following up to verse 5. Great. So what does it say in 1 through 4 that you would like to cite? Can you tell me which one specifically? And what does it say?
Yeah, we could read all
just
4
tell
of the
me.
verses.
No, just tell me which one specifically and tell me what it says.
Wait, are you going to read them or should I?
Just tell me which one and what does it say?
Okay.
Right.
Anytime you're ready.
She didn't say perfect after. Okay, it is kind of messed up.
All right. So the first verse. This is a declaration of disassociation from Allah and his messenger to those with you whom have had a treaty amongst the polytheists.
Right, which would be all of them.
So there was a treaty, correct?
Right. That would be all of them.
And this is, okay, yeah. So the polytheists, no, not all of the polytheists. The polytheists that specifically the Muslims had treaties with. Now let's read verse 13, because it completely and utterly bakes you. Verse 13 tells us...
Wait, you skipped a lot of stuff, girl. You skipped a lot of stuff there.
Stop.
Wait,
no. Before we get to 13, stop. You said verses... Stop. You said, and I quote...
Don't run.
Stop. You're the one that's running, and I'll explain why.
Look at this panic.
You will... Okay, listen, you have to calm down. The fact that you're freaking
I don't know how he's putting up with this crap.
Korra, do you think this is actually, this actually sounds powerful when you with your child voice? Look at this panic. Look, you're panicking. You're panicking.
You're getting baked. 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 You got baked.
Tells me a lot. Just relax. Nobody's panicking. I'm speaking at the same tone I ever have. So you said, and I quote, and everyone back me up. She said, and I quote, up to verse 5, it explains it. She says, that's why you have to read before verse 5. She read something that didn't prove her point at all in verse 1. And then she immediately said, and then when you go to verse 13, hold on, we will get to 13 in a...
I have to point out, this is basically the reason why I never go into, why I never bring up chapter 9, verse 5.
Yeah. No, exact same thing. 9:5. It means what it sounds like it means. It's bad, but there are multiple verses around it where you have to actually understand the historical background and understand what this is talking about and know the commentaries. And it's like, it's kind of it gets you, it makes a simple quotation of a verse turn into a very, very long and drawn out discussion where there are all kinds of possible objections. And you'd really have to know what you're talking about compared to, and this is what AP pointed out earlier, compared to Surah 9, verse 29, where they're trained to say context, and you say, let's read the context. You start at verse 28 and go all the way to 33, and there's not one word anywhere in there about self-defense. Every criterion for violently subjugating Jews and Christians has to do with basic beliefs and practices and nothing about fighting. And so, 9:5 works, but it's a much more drawn out conversation when you start digging into the meaning of the verses around it. Much easier to go 9:29. That's why we go.
Yeah, it's very easy to get entangled in this whole what it actually says with Muslims who love playing that game, which is why I generally don't want to go to 9:5. With 9:29, it's very, very easy and very straightforward. Very easy. And any discussion about the context of it would be a very quick one usually. So that said, 9:5 is a completely valid criticism. It is a violent declaration of war against disbelievers in general.
a second. You said, do you agree that you said up to verse 5, 1 through 4, it proves that what you said is? Did you not say that?
Do you agree that I cited verse 13
I'm going to
first?
stop.
Oh,
Did you? Okay, listen. If you don't want to answer,
Look at this panic. You're panicking. You're panicking. You're panicking. You're panicking.
Are you gonna run?
I have no problem going in order, but that's the point I'm making. Stop.
Oh,
okay, listen. If you're
so panicked for no reason. Dude.
I have nobody's panicking. You're being
so
emotional.
Let's read verse 13.
Okay,
so let's read verse 13.
I'm going to ask you one more time. If you run away from it again, I'm going to consider it.
Gosh. I guess this is what he does, to get into debates with people, with annoying people.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have kicked her like with the first
I
minute.
would have kicked her. I would have given her one warning. Don't tell me what to do. You are not my freaking boss, and I'm not your dimmy.
If you want to have clips, go get your clips somewhere else. I am in no need of clips. I am in no need of talking to you. Don't do that and you are kicked. That's it.
Running away from the conversation.
Are you going to read verse 13 or not?
You said, and I quote, that verses 1 through 4. Did you not say that?
You're running. You're running. You're so scared of me.
Not everyone. Did she not say verses 1 through 4?
Said not say.
I'm in panic mode, but I'm proved like
How long does this go on? It's 30, 46. When does he finally kick her out? Is that it?
The reason she's not re-released has to be once it's back.
Okay, this is somewhere.
Why is she scared to answer?
This is so
obvious, and then they have not been deficient toward you in anything or supported anyone against you. So complete for them their treaty until their term has ended. Indeed, Allah loves the righteous.
Oh, so we honor the polytheist treaties if they do not go against us, right?
Until their term is ended.
Yeah.
Wait,
why are you? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Why are you laughing at this? Yes, that was my.
Until the term of the treaty has ended.
That was my argument from the very beginning. Stop. I want you to do me a favor.
The treaties of the
Stop interrupting. You just cooked yourself. Holy shit. Stop. What was my argument from the? What was my? Holy shit! What was my argument from the?
I predicted the baked.
He just baked yourself.
He just baked himself. That's what he said at the beginning. He just baked himself.
You got baked. You got baked.
Absolutely.
Why is she scared to answer this question? What was my argument from the very beginning? What was my argument?
No.
Why is she scared to answer?
This is so embarrassing.
Why are you scared to answer? Why are you scared to answer?
You didn't ask a question.
I did. I said, what was my argument from the beginning? Because that just proved my point. And you're saying I baked myself.
From the beginning?
Correct. What was my argument?
So do you agree? Wait, hold on. Do you agree that
she is so stupid? I asked this question She's so dumb. What was? Stop interrupting. Relax. Stop interrupting. Okay, if you interrupt one more, I'm going to ask you a.
Oh man. Wait, and that's when Itachi joined? The ninja? The other ninja? The dumber ninja? Hey, you have more experience with the ninjas, David. From my observation, from everything that I have seen, Korra seems to have some signs of intelligence. And Itachi seems to have significantly fewer signs of intelligence. You have more of an experience with watching these people. Am I kind of?
I haven't seen much Itachi. Like we got to see Korra in that big, her versus a bunch of Christian women debate and stuff like that. So we got to see more. I haven't seen anything. I mean, we saw her a bit in the debate with God Logic and stuff, but yeah, I haven't seen her as much. But yes, she does come across as significantly dumber. I'm trying to think. I posted a comment to her a couple days ago, and she so thoroughly, completely didn't understand what I was saying that I was like, "Is she just freaking stupid?"
What the hell did I say?
What?
Why are you telling me to behave? What did I say?
What are you talking about? Behave.
Behave, mate. What did I say?
Why aren't you behaving?
I don't even know what I said. I saw her I saw her tweet stuff occasionally. And the latest thing that I've heard from her was this. Oops.
This is
the last thing I saw was this. Itachi says, I said Muslims say the dumbest things. And I quoted this here. Every prophet that came to earth was a Muslim. Then Paul showed up. Now we have 2 billion pagans. I thought this was a very, very wise piece of wisdom here.
Mm-hmm.
To which I could only say that Muslims say the dumbest things.
Yeah, what did I reply there, or did I?
Did you?
I don't know. Go down. Oh yeah, Muslims. We worship the great God Allah. Also Muslims. Paul completely overpowered Allah and thwarted all his plans. Now we spend all day whining about Paul for being so much more powerful than Allah. It's I mean, that's Allah promised Jesus to protect his followers until the day of resurrection. And then in Surah 61, verse 14, Allah, looking back, says that he aided the true followers of Jesus until they became uppermost, right? According to Muslims today, Paul completely distorted Christianity and sent the entire Christian community. Look at what she's saying here. No, we've got 2 billion pagans. Okay, so Allah said that he helped the true followers of Jesus become uppermost, and you say they're all pagans. So Allah helped the pagans. But he promised Jesus he's going to protect his followers till the day of resurrection, and they all ended up as pagans, according to you. They don't realize how like insane they sound when you're talking about what their God says. And this is why, by the way, this is why you go to the early commentators, they affirmed Paul as an actual follower of Jesus, not like following him around and stuff like that, but he is an actual authoritative guy sent out to represent Christianity. It's later Muslims who started blaming the Apostle Paul. Why did the early Muslims affirm Paul? Because Allah promised that he was protecting the true followers of Jesus, and he says he aided the true followers until they became uppermost. Well, the Christianity that became uppermost believed in Paul, therefore Paul's as good as gold. Whereas now it's, hey, we need someone to blame for why none of this lines up with Islam. Oh, it must be Paul. Okay, Paul's more powerful than Allah then. Allah said he's going to do this. Paul came and just slapped him around and said, nope, I'm taking over here. Okay, great. Then Paul is your real God.
That is true. Allah is too weak compared to Paul.
Hey, I looked for when I thought Itachi's really dumb. So Itachi said, she quotes Deuteronomy 18:20, which is a verse I quote to show Muhammad's a false prophet. She quotes Deuteronomy 18:20, but a prophet who presumes to speak in my name anything I have not commanded, or a prophet who speaks in the name of other gods is to be put to death, right? And then so she comments and says, based on the criteria given in Deuteronomy, Muhammad would be considered a true prophet of the true God because he, 1, spoke in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, and all the prior prophets, AP.
Yes.
When the Bible says, speak in the name of the one true God, Korra says, Muhammad spoke in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, Jacob, and all the prior prophets. Is that true? You think it's true that Muhammad spoke in the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Ishmael, and Jacob?
No.
Yeah. You don't even know what the name is. You've pointed that out many times, right? And 2, he only professed true prophecies. So she actually uses Deuteronomy 18:20, which gives 2 criteria of a false prophet. It says, Muhammad did neither of these, so he's a good prophet. So I replied, I said, 1, he didn't know the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but he did know the names Allat, Aluza, and Manat, and he spoke in their names. 2, he admitted that he delivered a revelation that didn't come from God. Hence, Muhammad would have been executed by Moses. So anyway, the point is, guys, Deuteronomy 18:20, which she quotes, trying to prove that Muhammad is a true prophet. It says, if you speak in the name of other gods, you would have been executed. Or if you deliver a revelation that doesn't actually come from God, if you do either one of those things, you're a false prophet. You would have been executed. Korra said, Itachi says, well, Muhammad didn't do either one of those things, so therefore he's a true prophet. I pointed out, no, he did both of those things. So he didn't know the name of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but he did know the name the names of Alat, Aluz, and Manat, and he spoke in their names.
And
2, he admitted that he delivered a revelation that didn't come from God. Hence, Muhammad would have been executed. And then I put on the screen Muhammad saying, I have fabricated, this is History of At-Tabari, Volume 6, page 111. Muhammad says, I have fabricated things against God and have imputed to him words which he has not spoken. That was a death penalty, according to the verse that Itachi quoted. Itachi's response to me pointing out that the verse she quoted would have gotten Muhammad executed. Itachi replies, by your logic, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and the prophets before Moses also would have been executed since they didn't know the Tetragrammaton. She somehow interpreted me saying, if you do not refer to God as Yahweh, you would have been executed. Not what I'm saying at all. He meets the criteria of a false prophet, according to the verse she pointed out. So I pointed out, I said, lol, when did I say someone would be executed for not knowing the Tetragrammaton? You quoted Deuteronomy 18:20, which gives 2 ways to spot a false prophet. 1, speaking the names of other gods. 2, delivering a revelation that doesn't actually come from God. Since Muhammad did both, he would have been executed by Moses. It's like very simple stuff. She doesn't understand it. She doesn't understand any arguments.
You see. Pharaoh says, apostate prophet, I will make Ishmael into a great nation. Genesis 17:20.
Yeah, read Genesis 25, where it was already accomplished.
And then also read Genesis 16. What is this? 16 to 17. Here's 16, verse 12. Context, Ishmael. He will be a wild donkey of a man. His hand will be against everyone, and everyone's hand against him. And he will live in hostility toward all his brothers. I think this is actually, I mean, if you want to apply that standard, I think this would be a very, very nice descriptor of Islam. And maybe of the followers of Islam. Especially this here. Would be a very good descriptor of Islam and of Muhammad, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Totally is. And then again, hey, buddy, Fairu, read Genesis chapter 25, verses 12 to 18. That promise was fulfilled still a few chapters later. So,
however, if you still want to...
talking about Muhammad. No, it's not. Stop.
If you still want to have it, then Islam is a wild donkey. There you go.
And he will live in hostility toward all his brothers.
Islam is a wild donkey. That's it. Anyway, let's continue. Samuelis says, I think you're missing a bit of what Nick is doing. By phrasing it as his preference, he's forcing them to defend their stances instead of allowing them to attack his. I know that's what he's doing. He also hints at that and says it by saying that this is what you guys do. You want to come and attack the position of the other. You don't want to defend your own. So if you claim that Islam is better, go ahead and defend it. Speedrunner, AP criticizing a book defending a 48-year age gap to appreciating a book defending an 87-year age gap. Exactly. Yeah. Unique Pitsu, Allah is calling me to marry plump-eyed Korra. I'm 53. That's pretty bad. It's pretty messed up. AP, don't be an a-hole. You are Muslim, atheist, no Orthodox. Have some respect to other paths, especially if you do not know. Nick is a legend. He said he learned from you and respect you. Dude, are you...
Yeah, why are you attacking Nick this entire time?
Why are you being so dumb? I love Nick. I think Nick is one of the best on the scene. I love the guy. I love Nick, okay? I've nothing.
So you're saying you hate Nick and you want to destroy him?
I have nothing against him at all.
Then why are you attacking him like this?
If this is a reference to me saying that I find Noahidism stupid,
why are you a Nickophobe?
It's just my personal preference, just my personal observation. That's it. Big Rig. I heard Mike Winner went to jail and read worse books than anyone and got saved after, and now he's the pathfinder in critiquing Islam. Wow, what a guy! I know I heard that too. And he's the first Christian apologist who actually tackles Islam, which is very, very nice. Dawa Troll, there is no book written so stupid as the Quran. You see the proof that it is so uniquely written. On the Arabic. Lies destroy lives. Why not challenge Muslims to read the book of Genesis and compare it to the Quran in beauty? I don't know. I would say read the book of Ecclesiastes and compare it to the Quran, or read the Gospel.
I would put the entire Quran up against the Sermon on the Mount in a heartbeat. I'll just read the Sermon on the Mount, and you guys read. Matter of fact, you guys can go through, pick the best passages of the Quran. I will read one sermon from Jesus.
But you have to recite it. You can only compare it if you recite it. If you sing it.
Blessed all the poor in spirit.
Continue.
What?
You're supposed to recite the whole thing, man.
No, I'm not reciting the entire thing.
For
something like that. It has to sound like the Quran. That's the only way to compare it properly. The Gita is okay. Still not the great readable.
We should make a video like that where you shake your booty and you challenge. Let's compare, read these passages, and then I'll say, well, I'll put the Sermon on the Mount up against it, and then I read the whole thing like that.
Let's do it. The Gita is okay. Still not great readable, at least. I think it is. I mean, for the age of the text, I think it's a pretty good read. It's a pretty good read. I'm also thinking of... Dude, I read that several times and I have it in somewhere behind me. For some reason, my mind is blanking out and I can't think of the name of the Taoism book. Which is kind of weird because I referenced it so many times.
The Tao book? That's Tao Te Ching, man. Tao Te Ching,
man. Which I wouldn't consider a readable book.
No, I didn't like it. I started reading that and I didn't like it. Thought it was stupid.
Because it is just phrases after phrases after phrases after phrases. However, I would think it is much wiser than the Quran.
Oh, no question. Anything is better. But the only good thing to come out of that part of the world is the art of war. And gunpowder.
It's pretty racist. Don't say three.
And
Allah is not.
Chicken.
I can't argue with that. I love General Tso's chicken.
It's pretty tasty.
Don't say three. Allah is not the first of three. 116 doomsday. Christians are accused of worshipping Mary and Son next to Allah. Muslims answer with Theotokos and Mary prayers and statues. What do you think? I think it is a stupid argument. Muslims intentionally want to reinterpret and present the Quran the Quran doesn't do a good job in explaining itself, and the Quran obviously makes a false observation and a false claim. The Quran claims, or the Quran makes it look like Christians believe in three gods, that is Allah, Jesus, and Mary. That's the Quran's understanding, or Muhammad's understanding of what Christians believe in. Now you can say, okay, but maybe they misunderstood it because of the veneration of Mary. I'm sorry, that's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. The Quran, the only two times that it talks about what Christians actually worship, it talks about worshiping Jesus and Mary, besides Allah. Worshipping Jesus besides Allah is not what Christians do. Worshipping Mary together with Jesus and Allah is most definitely not what any Christian does. If you want to accuse Christians of excessively venerating Mary or something like that, that is one issue. But before we get to that, you have to establish first that Islam actually gets the Christian beliefs correct. It accuses Christians of worshipping three gods and counts them as Allah, Jesus, and Mary. And that is simply wrong. We don't have any time to listen to your conversations about Mary. That's it. Big rig, Allah be confused. This is true. Sahih Muhammad, I'm not gay, but alert. Collision Kevin, God has called me to street ministry. The Holy Spirit leads these conversations, but I do wonder which denomination setting would be more fitting for a Muslim. The parts of the body of Christ has different strength. Thanks, fam. Well, it depends on what you actually believe in and where you want to read them. I personally do not believe in the whole directing them towards some denomination or picking one that is appropriate for them. But it's also another conversation that I want to have. I would say call them to believe in God. David, what do you say about this? In Christ, in Christianity. What do you say about this, David?
I was just reading something very interesting. Let's see. The Holy Spirit leads those conversations, but I do wonder which denomination's setting would be more fitting for a Muslim. The parts of the body of Christ has different strengths. Thanks, family. Anything but the Orthodox.
All right. Christian Arab, the last 5%, says, I read the whole Quran. They water many verses down when translating to English, so there's no point, even if it were coherent. Yeah, I would still say, though, that, I don't know, with online Sahih international translations, it used to be more accurate. Then they started adding brackets and parentheses to it to make it more accurate. I would still say that there are some unpopular translations that are not very widespread. I actually got one, which I got a long time ago, which I found remarkably close to how the Quran actually sounds. Let me look that up. It's not a very well-known translation, but I have it somewhere because I read it and I found it agonizing, just as the Quran is supposed to be read. And then there's also Arbery, which is a known one. Arbery is actually a very accurate translation of the Quran, a word-for-word translation of the Quran. And it's also very painful to read, just as intended. There's another one, which is, let me find what the translation is. I'm kind of curious about that. I haven't read that in a while. The Quran. Koran. Anyway, I won't find it now. Judas I Scare Not says, L. Ron Hubbard and Dynetics Catching Strays. Look out, it's Tom Cruise. I heard a lot of bad stuff about the quality of the Scientology books. I haven't really had the honor of reading them myself. Do you know anything about this, David?
No, but yeah, I've heard such things as well.
I've heard that they're pretty poorly written and stuff, but I don't know myself. Because the guy is an author before that kind of stuff as well, so I don't know. Uninspiring philosophy. Hey, Woodrow, whatever happened to Jihad Watch? Hey, David, why aren't you doing Jihad Watch? Why is Robert Spencer not doing Jihad Watch on Wednesdays?
One, that was never Jihad Watch. Two, Robert still has his website, Jihad Watch.
Okay, why is Robert not doing This Week in Jihad?
That was not asked that.
Okay, well, why is he not
that was a question I was not asked. Don't be changing the question. He said, hey, Woodrow, first, not my name, whatever happened to Jihad Watch? Jihadwatch.org is a website where they keep people updated on the latest news on jihad. That website is still there. No further questions.
I didn't know Woodrow was not your name, so I'm sorry. Motor Gear Solid. Yes, I read Twilight, Apostate Prophet 2026. Yes, I did. Sue me. Sandipkabak says, thankfully, goats ate some, so we were spared the genius of those passages. Indeed, yes. Jonathan Tess here says, bi-curious, you mean. God bless everyone. God bless you too. Stephen M.O. would love prison if he was alive today. All the Muslim inmates would be like, Prophet, why are you selling up with the blacks, not us? What's wrong with you?
That's true, though.
People who might not know about the Al-Zut might be very confused by this comment. Motor Gear Solid. I know it's a teen romance novel. I'm not ashamed to admit it. A buzz-based Prophet 2026. Exactly. You have to proudly admit that you read Twilight, man. That's what makes you really based.
It is totally based.
Stephen M. Mo would put honey buns on his own pillow. This is true. PC says there was another Free Palestine march in London today. They always are anti-Semitic rallies, same every time. I also saw that somebody was carrying a sign that said no peace or no to peace or something like that. I don't know if that was from the same march, which was quite wild. They refuse peace. They reject peace. Rob made a super sticker. Thank you so much. PD said, "I'm a Christian. 100% agree. I 100% agree. Is an act of worship. I prayed and tried to view it in this view to motivate me to study, but can't. It's not in the cards." What? I do not understand. David, do you understand?
No.
Okay, good. Kildalton Theological Studies.
With that said, that comment was probably made right after we said something and does make sense, but since we're getting to it a little later, we don't know what it's referring to and therefore cannot comprehend it.
If it doesn't make sense when I read it, it doesn't make sense. That's it. Kildalton Theological Studies. To truly appreciate the Quran, you have to read it in the original Klingon Kapla.
Kapla!
That is true. In order for it to make sense and not have any mistakes, that's what you need to do. Rob, Queers for Palestine is a gay man speaking. Unity Strength confesses his climate sins to hero Pistemon Bill Gates and receives meat allergy as penance before absolution. This is true. Holy science. Holy science by the holy leader Bill Gates. Obedience is key. David, I know you present the atheist flawed view most excellent, a superb contradiction to where atheists start their reasoning. David is just staring.
Oh, I didn't even say anything to you. My eyeball feels like it's going to explode. Pretty random. I got sawdust in my eye yesterday, and I thought I got it out, and then I went to sleep, and I woke up, and my eyeball's been feeling like it's going to explode all day. I can still see out of it, though.
This is so dumb.
What? History of the Russian Orthodox Church. Look up how it was canceled in 1917 and how it was reestablished in 1943 by communists. You'll understand the modern Russian Orthodox Church and its propaganda.
Oh, this is what I'm referring to here.
Dude! Don't be covering up the atrocities of the Russian Orthodox Church.
I posted this earlier. Rapist, human trafficker, entertainer arrested in Miami. Some guy who posts himself as Jesus. I speak to all people that listen and respect this Ridvan fellow and will only say one thing. Only the children of the devil lie. I'm sorry, but you make your profile to be Jesus. And you speak about people. You judge people about evil and devil. And then posted this here. Has Andrew Tate ever been charged and convicted for...
Did you say he was convicted of it?
No. Rape, 2, human trafficking. No, Andrew Tate has not been convicted of rape or human trafficking.
What's that got to do with what you said?
I want to just ask one question here. If somebody wasn't convicted of something before a court, does that mean they haven't done it?
Yeah. I broke into someone's trailer and stole a bunch of money when I was in 5th grade.
Liar.
I've never been charged or convicted for it. Does that mean it didn't happen?
It didn't happen. Why are you lying? It didn't happen. Otherwise, you would have been charged and convicted.
Oh, okay.
It never happened. You're a liar. You liar.
I've never been charged with, well, not as an adult. Never mind. I was about to say stealing. Like, no, I got charged a bunch of times of stealing when I was a minor.
People can be really stupid. Anyway, what was that? Yeah, now I can find the comment that I dismissed. I seriously didn't do this on purpose. What was that saying? Where was that? 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 I seriously didn't mean to dismiss that super chat. I just wanted to quickly check something else. Oh, here. Biscuit TV. David, look up the history of Russian Orthodox Church. Look up how it was canceled in 1917 and how it was reestablished in 1943 by communists. You will understand the modern Russian Orthodox Church and its propaganda.
Yeah, guys, don't worry. We got a big conference coming up. Got multiple things happening before then. Multiple videos I have to get out. For instance, Monday morning, unless something goes terribly wrong tomorrow, Monday morning, we'll have my revised 3 stages of jihad video, all the way back 2012 is when I posted the original on a crap camera with crap audio equipment and stuff like that. Now we're going to have the thoroughly updated version. That'll be Monday. And then I got a couple other videos to get out and stuff. But after the end of this month, then we'll be taking a closer look at the Russian Orthodox Church and all their puppets around the world.
So here's the thing. This is not actually entirely true. The Russian Orthodox Church wasn't canceled or anything like that. What did, however, happen is
that post just said they were canceled, man.
Is that after the Communist Revolution, it was re-established. This is actually where the whole split comes from. The Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia, where the Orthodox clergy and Christians, many of them fled, and then re-established the church outside Russia, which was separated from the church within Russia. But the church in Russia in the 40s was completely taken over and seized by the Soviet Union, and then basically became a mouthpiece of the Soviet Union. It was literally led by the Soviet Union. So the Russian Orthodox Church in Moscow was being led by the atheist, anti-Christian Soviet Union. This led to big breaks and controversies, and to Rokor and the Patriarchate of Moscow rejecting each other. It was only after the Soviet Union fell that this break was slowly healed, when the Moscow Patriarchate turned from a communist-ruled patriarchate to a regular non-communist patriarchate, after which the Russian Orthodox Church outside Russia said, okay, we recognize you now, and we'll be together. However, the big problem with it is that this healing wasn't really a proper healing, considering that currently the Moscow Patriarchate is, and I don't care what anybody says in response to me saying this, it is a puppet of Putin and the Russian government.
You don't say.
Russian government.
Huh.
It is a puppet, a political tool, and an extension of Putin's imperialist government.
Was this the same Putin who was in the KGB?
Yes.
Huh. You don't say. I might have to look into this.
Yes. In fact, the Patriarch himself, Patriarch Kirill, has a very, very dirty, subversive...
Wait a minute. You're not referring to Patriarch Kirill, who was a KGB spy in the 1970s, sent in by his communist leaders.
Exactly, that guy.
Huh.
Exactly that guy.
And now he's the highest ranking official in the Russian Orthodox Church, who does nothing but what Putin tells him to do. This is strange, man.
That is correct.
No, hey, people don't realize how screwed up this is. Kirill, Patriarch Kirill, comes up with this doctrine that, like, Russia needs to control anything that's Russian, like any area that speaks Russian, has ties to Russia from the past, or even really likes Russia. It's called, the doctrine's the Russian world. And Russia gets to control all that. And that's the justification for, oh, we need to take Ukraine. Oh, we need to take Crimea. We get to do all this stuff. Why? Because he said, oh, we got a new church doctrine. It's the Russian world. Anything that is connected to Russia at all, language, anything, Russia needs to control that. Namely, Putin needs to control all that. And then, I mean, think. It's like, hey, who's playing soccer? There's like one game left, right? Who's playing soccer, AP? Who's about to play soccer?
After today, where England kicked France's ass, tomorrow there's only Spain and Argentina left.
Okay, Spain and Argentina. This Russian world doctrine would be like, Spain saying we're invading Argentina because they speak Spanish, and we believe that we control everything Spanish. That's what the leader of the Russian Orthodox Church did. He said, "Hey, anything, it's all ours. We get to take it. We get to invade it, take it, all that stuff." It's pretty crazy, man. So yeah, Spain, according to this, could just take over any place where anyone speaks Spanish.
It is very, very crazy, and I do not shy at all from saying this again and again and again. It is a corrupt place, a corrupt leadership. Patriarch Kirill, the head of the Moscow Patriarchate, is proven and is known to be a former spy, a former operator for the KGB, working on subversive missions in the West. To my knowledge, they have never said anything about it or response to it or made any explanation about it at all. But it was already known in the 90s, and it was with certainty proven and exposed just recently on files with leaked and declassified evidence. It is just, and they haven't changed. The whole Moscow Patriarchate is basically a tool of the imperialist Russian monster that is a political tool, that is a political puppet, and that, in my opinion, has nothing to do with being a proper, Christian leadership or anything like that.
Yeah, and hey, that Kirill dude.
Yeah,
I mean, think about that. Spy, KGB spy in the 70s. Putin's also KGB. Then the Soviet Union collapses, and then somehow over the next many years, Kirill becomes the patriarch of the church, and somehow amasses a fortune of somewhere between $4 and $8 billion. Or I've seen higher, like 18 or 20 or something like that, but most commonly $4 to $8 billion. You get to become a multi-billionaire doing whatever Putin tells you, man.
And so what needs to be pointed out is I still go to an Orthodox church, and I aspire to continue going to an Orthodox church. This is not a criticism of orthodoxy of the Orthodox Church. It is primarily about the Russian Orthodox Church leadership.
The Russians,
Moscow. And you can also make the comparison. David just talked about the massive wealth that he amassed, the Patriarch of Constantinople. The Patriarch of Constantinople is like, what is he? He has a massive personal wealth. $4
to $8 billion.
$4 to $8 billion. The Patriarch of Constantinople, on the other hand, is known to have nothing.
You see,
what is with this?
This is why we have to go with the Russians. We got to get paid.
He lives a life of personal poverty and relies completely on whatever the church and before that the monastery is.
That's why it's better to be Russian.
Why is there such a discrepancy between the Greek Orthodox leadership and the Russian Orthodox leadership? Why is the Moscow Patriarch a rich and wealthy, flamboyant man, whereas the Patriarch of Constantinople just doesn't have anything to his name?
Yeah, I could have told you that just growing up. We all found out about the Soviet Union, those Russians, the entire time we were growing up. Then everyone forgot the lessons. The only positive thing Russians ever did was cheering for Rocky in Rocky IV.
This is a fact, by the way. They edited out Kirill's watch in a picture but left the reflection. This actually happened.
I'm stealing that one because I am making a video about Patriarch Kirill.
This actually happened. Where was that? Edited out. This actually did happen. In 2012, the Russian Orthodox Church edited out. Look at this. It's funny. Edited out a $30,000 gold brigade watch from a photograph of leader Patriarch Kirill I to conceal his lavish lifestyle. However, the photo editors forgot to remove the watch's reflection on the highly polished tabletop, causing a major public relations scandal.
What are you guys going to do? He's a billionaire. He's backed by Putin. What are you going to do? They will send your butts to the gulag, man.
It's incredible, man. To be frank, Edward Cullen was never visited by the Alzut. This is true. This is true. PC, David, as of Monday, Tuikia will no longer be Prime Minister of UK. Yeah, but his replacement is worse.
Who's the replacement?
Don't be happy. What's his name? Burnham.
I was just thinking they like every screwed up leader they have, they just get a more screwed up one afterwards.
That's what they do.
They're like, I guess the theory is if they keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, it'll like they'll go around the entire world and they think they'll eventually get better. Like if you go far enough in one direction, you eventually come out on the other side. I don't know what they're thinking.
This fellow here. This beautiful fellow.
Better not look like a dork. He looks like a freaking dork. How did I know? It's like they vote based on who looks like the biggest dork.
He's going to take the Labour Party policy to even more extreme directions. This is not good news at all. I think it would have been much better had Keir Starmer stayed as Prime Minister until the next elections.
No, I don't. I think you got to make it worse. Got to get worse before things get better.
Issa Kabir became a YouTube. Hey, what's up, man? Issa, what's up? Issa. Mr. Olympian Bill Federer, who I like, recently called Muhammad a white Arab and quotes hadiths. Is that accurate? He then adds how this white Arab owned black slaves, as if that's the only way to make slavery sound bad.
He got that from me, guys. I'm the one who posted that video years ago titled Muhammad, the White Prophet with Black Slaves. And then I did a follow-up about Muhammad Ali. Because Muhammad Ali, they were asking him why he changed his name from Cassius Clay. Sounds Roman, Cassius. It is a Roman name. Why did he change it to Muhammad Ali? And he said, well, Cassius Clay was my slave name. I wanted a name for my people. It's like Muhammad and Ali, that's Arabs. Like where are you getting that? And so I made a video about Muhammad and Ali buying, trading, selling black African slaves. And then I pointed out where Muhammad Ali got his name Cassius Clay. He was Cassius Clay Jr. His dad was Cassius Clay. His grandfather was Herman Heaton Clay, and he named his son Cassius Clay in honor of the Kentucky abolitionist Cassius Marcellus Clay, who is the one who inspired and convinced Abraham Lincoln to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. His grandfather named Muhammad Ali Cassius. He gave that name to Cassius Clay's father. Then by the time you get to Cassius Clay, he doesn't realize the name Cassius Clay was in honor of a guy who convinced Abraham Lincoln to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. He's like, I don't want that slave name. Let me name myself Muhammad and Ali, both of whom bought, owned, sold, and traded black African slaves. It's like stupid. Anyway, you have tons of Muslim sources about Muhammad being white. They talk about the whiteness of his shins and the whiteness of his armpit and the whiteness of his stomach. Anytime Muhammad pulled up any shirt or something like that, they would marvel at his whiteness. And then when people actually, a visitor came to town and said, which one of you is Muhammad? They said, this white one. So he was called white. With that said, he's still an Arab. He's just a really, really light Arab who's described as white. But if you look at like his living descendants, they look like Opie Taylor. They look like Opie Taylor, like Ron Howard, man. They're like white ginger looking dudes. And those are Muhammad's like great grandsons.
You see, let's
I should remake that video too.
You should remake that video too. Joel ever said Than has bark bark, IP has meow meow, AP has gobble gobble because he's a Turk. Get it? And David has peck peck or chuck chuck.
Oh, because woodpecker. Peck peck.
It's very insulting, Joel.
Very rude.
It's very insulting, Joel. Merrimack, they're making a Western-friendly version of the Quran to hand at the Olympics. I will drop info on same name, engagement ring with pink background. On X. Okay. Let me know.
Wait, when are they doing that?
When is they doing that?
Hey, we need a bounty. We want one of those Korans if they give them out for the Olympics.
Yo, when is they doing that?
We want one of those, and we will review it.
You didn't send me anything. I'm checking my messages right now. I don't see anything at all. Dumb person says, I would love to kick drop Dr. Teddy Wood. What really is the joy that you get out of creating a profile named dumb person just to make stupid super chats like this?
Better do more than drop kick. And it's drop kick, not kick drop. Learn to speak. Susie
says she only gets away with being so aggressive towards men because of our Western society. Let her try this in Iran. I would say Iran is still tolerable. Let her do this in Yemen. Timothy Freeman, all rich Muslims. I said my ninjas don't dance. We just pull up our pants and do the rock away.
Hey, I just looked it up because that was one of the videos that it's titled How Muhammad Ali Was Deceived by Islam. Because that's one of the, I only left a couple of videos up when I gave away my channel, but that's got 1 million views, man.
It does.
And the other one,
it does. It's pretty based. It's pretty based. Distracting games. Reading the Book of Mormon is Shakespeare when compared to the Quran. Joseph Smith produced surahs better than anything Muhammad did. I believe you. Metamorphosis. Some would say Nick is a master debater. It's pretty rude. If she's trying to help make the Quran more clear, she should help bring more people to Islam. This is true. Nicholas Hahn says, David Wood and AP, you are tasked to take down Candace and her cult. You will have IP for backup and a 1-year supply of Alex Jones vitamins. Can you pull it off? Yes, we can.
If we needed to, but I think that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, I think she's bringing it. The funny thing is, as the case continues, as the trial starts and continues, these people will their theories will completely fall apart. Their stupidity will be exposed. It already is being exposed. But still, I think I would totally do it. Zachary Duckett, fun fact. We have Islam to thank for the US bringing its military back after our Revolutionary War to combat Berberi pirates. Millions in defense before a cent in tribute.
Whoa.
This is very true.
Yo, Murdered by Cran says, new charges for Andrew Tate. 7 counts of rape. 3 counts of facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges for offenses relating to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography.
Wait a minute. Wow. What the heck? Wait a minute. Murdered by Cranes. Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate have been arrested in the USA. The UK will seek extradition over new allegations that include 7 additional counts of rape. 7 additional counts of rape, sexual exploitation, bodily assault, and 19 charges related to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography.
Yo, he actually links it. Go down. It's short. Go down a little more.
New charges for Andrew Tate. 7 counts of rape. 3 counts of facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, 19 additional charges for offenses related to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography. Tristan Tate's new charges, 2 counts of rape, 1 count of sexual assault.
Look right there. Click on that.
I will add more as details come in. There's a lot I'm trying to verify at the moment. Source.
Yes, that's Crown Prosecution Services right there. They say it's short, but they give the... says it right there.
Crown Prosecution Service from today.
They say
the Crown Prosecution Service has decided to bring further charges against brothers Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate in relation to 4 further victims. The CPS has decided to prosecute Andrew Tate, 39, with 7 further counts of rape, 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, 3 counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and 19 additional charges for offenses relating to indecent images of a child and extreme pornography.
Keep reading, man.
The CPS has decided to prosecute Tristan Tate, 38, with 1 count of sexual assault, 2 counts of rape, and 3 counts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation. The offending is alleged to have taken place between July 2010 and August 2017. The suspects were arrested by the U.S. Marshal Service in the United States of America on July 18th. Following their arrest in the U.S., prosecutors will be seeking extradition in relation to the original
21 charges.
And the further charges, which
that's 40. It's 21, then 19 more. 40 charges.
Yes, Ben. Malcolm McAfee, head of the Special Crime Division at the Crown Prosecution Service, said, "We have decided to prosecute Andrew and Tristan Tate for further offenses, including rape, arranging or facilitating." These charging decisions followed receipt of a further file of evidence from Bedfordshire Police and bring the total number of alleged victims in this case to 7. Dude. Tristan Tate previously had charges against him for 11 counts, including 3 counts of rape, 6 counts of bodily harm, and 2 counts of human trafficking. Andrew Tate previously had charges against him for 10 counts, including 3 counts of rape, 4 counts of actual bodily harm, 2 counts of human trafficking, and 1 count of controlling prostitution for gain. The previous charges relate to 3 victims. The new charges relate to a further 4 victims. The function of the CPS is not to decide whether a person is guilty of a criminal offense, but to make fair, independent, and objective assessments about whether it is appropriate to present charges for a criminal court to consider. The CPS assessment of any case is not in any sense a finding of or implication of any guilt or criminal conduct. It is not a finding of fact, which can only be made by a court. Good luck with that, dear Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate. I am quite happy. Finally, Romania is taking forever.
Yeah, but that was crazy because, I mean, we watched all the clips, but Tate was saying back in the day, the reason he's going to Romania is because too many people are completely bribable.
Yeah.
Too many police, judges, everyone, you can bribe them into not convicting you. And that's why he's going there.
Candace must be heartbroken. Yeah, this is the funny thing. If at this point, if you hear these things about Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, and if you think, oh no, this is a psyop, this is a conspiracy, this is the Matrix, and you somehow really still defend these guys, there's something really wrong with you. There's something really, really wrong with you. And I don't want to trust your judgment on anything. Even if you don't think that this is real, even if you somehow think this is the Matrix or some like 12-year-old dumb stuff, just the fact that you have from multiple independent places, you have dozens of allegations of rape, sexual assault, human trafficking, sex trafficking, child sex trafficking, and all these things. You have so many allegations and charges against both of these guys. Just this should make you a little bit uneasy. If anybody reads all these things and still says, no, I'm with the Tates, there is something wrong with you and you shouldn't be trusted with your judgments.
But he's top G. He taught me to be a man. Dude, you know what I just realized that reminded me of? You had all these like dorks. You had all these like dork going, top G. He's teaching us to be masculine, so we're not little weaklings anymore. He's teaching us to be real men. It sounds exactly like the freaking Orthobros. They're connected, weren't they? Did they break away from Andrew Tate or something like that? It's the same thing.
No.
But you gotta do that. You gotta be this if you want to be strong and base like the top G.
One thing I can say about Orthobros is that there is no connection between them and Andrew Tate. They don't like each other.
Huh. So it was just the same thing. Then all these guys taking advantage of these dorks and telling them, hey, you'll be super strong and based and a real man if you do what we say.
You see.
It's like the Russian Orthodox. Do you know how to know if you're a real strong and based guy?
Like, for example, I know that Andrew Wilson, your best friend, really doesn't like Andrew Tate.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's everything else that's wrong. But yeah, those Russian Orthodox are like, oh, do you know how to show that you're a real man and that you're real strong and virile? All you have to do is give Putin a tongue bath, and then that'll show you're a real man. It's like, what? Where are you guys getting this nonsense from?
IP getting death threats from the peaceful religion. Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Ray, Korra, do you understand what I'm saying? Cackle once for yes and twice for no. Korra, okay, perfect. Okay, beautiful.
That's why cackle once again.
Natural Farmer Gwyneth says, I'm a widow who lives alone. If these people ever take over, I'm never bowing. I'm a Christian. I only have two options, fight or perish. That's right.
Yeah, they'd have to saw my head off, and I'm gonna do a bunch of I'm gonna build up a bunch of muscle on my, so it takes them like 5 minutes to saw through, so I can talk mad trash about their fake profit while they're sawing my head off.
Hey, this is a funny thing. We are 3 hours into this live stream,
and you've watched like 10 seconds of the.
We watched Korra so far. I put orthodox lips on the thumbnail.
You didn't even get to orthodox lips, man.
There's still hibachi in the middle. Hibachi steak from the Japanese hibachi restaurant. I don't think I'm actually ever going to get to orthodox lips. So I should probably change the thumbnail and put Korra the Ninja instead of orthodox lips. Maybe the next one could be hibachi steakhouse. And then we could also do another one with duck lips.
Mm-hmm. Yep, since it takes you 3 hours to get through 5 minutes of arguing.
We shall see. What's up, Ligmathigon? It's always good to see you here. Breaking the treaty. Does that include if a Jew decides to no longer pay protection to the emir while he gives me public disrespect and corporal punishment? Yes, it does. That is the actually, yes, it does. If Christians and Jews who are under dhimmi status under Muslims refuse to pay their jizya, their protection money, or their mafia bribe money, or their mafia money, if they refuse to do that, then they are fair game and may be killed by the Muslims. Then the limbs of moose are allowed to attack me in self-defense. Did I get it right? Yes, you get that completely right. Self-defense from the Muslim perspective just means you don't do what we say. Therefore, we now have a right to defend ourselves against you and kill you. That's basically it. Or you don't respect Islam. You don't want to pay protection money. Then we unfortunately we have to kill you in self-defense. That's basically the Islamic position. Isa, what's up, Isa? My debate partner is going against Madness, AP, and David Wood. Objective Christian, playing catch-up. Quran is textual garbage. Slimmy say that's how writing was back then. Epic of Gilgamesh is 1,000 times better and written far earlier. Songs of relief. If you suffer from low blood pressure, ask your doctor about Korra. Listening to Korra can reverse low blood pressure. Side effects may include headaches, teeth grinding, and mini strokes. Nice. Speedrunner, AP and David Wood. Inshallah, you will be humbled once Korra and Co. complete the Passion translation of the Quran. It will then be perfectly clear.
Oh, it will make sense too.
Catholic s'mores. I don't hate anyone, but I'm about to make an exception for Korra. No, don't do it. Unique Petsu, Nick said, holy shit, is he a Christian? I'm sorry. Yes, he is. AP, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Brent Warren, want to give a shout out to IP's GoFundMe. Where is it right now? Inspiring Philosophy is currently grifting, and let's see how...
Inspiring Grifters. That should be his channel.
Let's see how Inspiring Grifters GoFundMe is doing. Wow. $230,000 raised of $200,000.
I love it, man. I mean, obviously, and the main reason isn't even like it's helping him out a bunch and he gets to be safer and gets his family. For anyone who wasn't paying attention, is they were threatening him, posting pictures from inside his house, showing people exactly where to go in order to kill him and so on. Malik did this. Threaten his wife, all kinds of things. And so inspiring payments. So anyway, it's super cool. He's going to a gated community where you have to go through security to actually even get near his house and stuff like that. So all that's awesome. But really, at the end of the day, it's just the biggest deterrent to them. Like you see like Fareed and others are flipping out on the Muslims, saying you're handing these guys money when you threaten them, and then they want to move or something like that. You're sending them big piles of money. It's a huge deterrent. And by the way, guys, it would be cool if this was like standard. If some ex-Muslim woman is online and she says something and they threaten her, and people just like, hey, here's a bunch of money. It's like, they'll come to view it as every time we threaten someone, we end up enriching the person. And oh my goodness, maybe let's stop threatening people. So anyway, this is a huge thing. Like to anyone who's thinking about this in the future, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dox this Christian and threaten his wife and stuff. Muslims are going to be like, will you shut up, dude? Do you know what happened the last time that happened? This dude got $250,000
exactly
because of your threats. That's how you do it, guys.
You have these Muslims go around saying, no, look, he's asking for money and he's scamming people. How are people giving him money? Well, sorry, it is GoFundMe. You know, there's a cultural difference here. This is the West. It's not a Muslim country. I know you don't care about each other, actually, over there. People care about giving to each other and actually helping and actually being charitable. Right? You threaten people. You actually threaten somebody, a very good guy. If there is one thing I can say about inspiring philosophy, Michael Jones, is that he's a very good guy. He's a genuinely very, very good guy. Fantastic friend, very good person. He decides to criticize Islam. He goes after it because you guys are a bunch of perverts who believe in perversions like pedophilia. He criticizes this. You guys respond by posting photos of his home and telling people to go and attack it. This guy is married. He has a family and children. He wants to save his family and wants to start somewhere new and prevent something like this from happening again, while continuing to critique you guys. And people stand up and say, hey, I'll help you. I'll help you, IP. That's how things work. Don't complain about him getting donations. I can guarantee you that the way he has to seek safety for his already large-ish family is going to cost tons of money. I know this very well. And the best thing you can do, Muslims, is probably not to send death threats to people anymore.
That would be a good idea.
Not to dox people anymore.
Good place to start.
Then you don't have to cry about people donating money to each other, about Christians donating money to each other. Maybe you guys should stop threatening people. How about that?
Seems like a good plan.
Does it make sense to you, idiots? Does it make sense to you? Does it go into your tiny brains? Does it find a way through your big skulls into your small, undetectable brains? Maybe. There's always hope. Ligamathigayun, you need to read it like a goat passing a kidney stone.
It's the only way to read it, man.
Giddick Pitsu, 10% of my depression goes when I watch you live. Based.
Then just watch us 10 times. You're gonna go.
Yeah, watch it 10 times. Watch it 10 times. It also makes my depressions go away, so that's good. Who is the greater person, Martin Luther King Jr. or Mike Winger? What kind of stupid question? Of course, it's Mike.
Martin Luther King Jr. by like 10,000 times.
It's Mike Winger. I should ban you for even asking that question. Jim Burns, this will prove you. Tell everyone to Amazon and look a book titled A Conversation with Superintelligence by Jim Dwayne Burns Jr.
That's the guy who's telling you to do it.
I know. The super chat person is the one who wrote the book. It is a short 57-page book.
I don't. In other words, I don't know. Now, maybe he's completely correct, but also he's not. He can't be called unbiased in this situation.
Well, yeah, still. It is a short 57-page book that will deliver the light of all lights, the original light of God. Okay. Tad, if Muhammad was fooled once by Satan, how does he know that after Allah casted out what Satan has revealed, wasn't Satan pretending to be Allah again? Allah! AP sent a letter, a DM on X. I shall check it out. It's kind of messed up how I scammed everyone by saying that, by acting like I will review the whole conversation between Nick and Dark Lips.
And you spent 3.5 hours reviewing 5 minutes of it.
I scammed everybody. How did they all fall for it?
Oh!
They all fell for it. I just scammed everyone. Biscuit TV, there's no ex-KGB agents. It's like Mafia for Life. That's based. If I can change and you can change, we all can change.
I think is it we all can change, or is it anyone can change?
Probably.
I forget. That's Rocky IV, man. That's from his speech at the end after he defeats Ivan Drago and wins the hearts and minds of the people of the Soviet Union. And then he gives this awesome speech.
Stalin Zane, can you ban the Nazi already? Which Nazi? You have to tell me. You have to be specific. Who is the Nazi that I should ban? Oh, there's a person called Aryan Socialist. All right. Well, ban user and delete their comments. Done.
This quote here says that it's actually, if I can change and you can change, everybody can change.
I don't believe you.
Rocky. But they're all Russians. Rocky.
Leave the cousin marrying people alone, AP. No. Mike Winger isn't a heretic. Awful. I don't know why somebody's talking about me moving. I moved like twice over the last year or so. Twice. You can imagine how much finances, resources, and time and effort and power that cost me.
We carried your crap for you, man.
That is correct. David came and carried all my stuff for me when I was moving. It was kind of nice, man. I was just saying there, like, oh, carry more. Come on, David, hurry up. Like treating white people like dimmies again.
Yeah, me and Luke showed up. We assumed everything was going to be packed up. Nothing was packed up, not one thing.
Don't exaggerate, man. Even most things weren't packed up. Mr. Olympian, so was Mu descended from Europeans, or were some most Arabs just light? For his descendants, isn't that mostly because of having children with all the white slaves they brought over throughout many centuries?
You're thinking of later as far as all the white slaves and stuff.
Yeah. But it was just an Arab. Arabs were a mixed population.
Yeah, you have really dark Arabs, you have really light Arabs and stuff, and you got some, again, ginger-looking Arabs.
The thing with Arabs is that there is this claim and this idea that Arabs are just descendants of Ishmael or something like that, or that they are a specific population that just grew in that environment. But Arab was in ancient times just a term for people who were underdeveloped and lived in the desert, in the outer regions of civilization. People generally refer to those who live in the desert in general as Arabs. Those who spoke in weird ways in general as Arabs. It only later on became a designator for a certain population or a certain civilization. It was a collective of multiple different people that may have different backgrounds that came together and started becoming what was later called Arabs. So they may have all kinds of different backgrounds. It just meant savages, honestly. Mr. Olympian, also AP, are you a wizard? Gandalf's sword. I am indeed, yes. I am a part-time wizard. You want me to prove it?
Show them the color. That doesn't look like a wizard's sword. It looks like a gay wizard's sword.
It's literally Gandalf's own sword. He gave it to me. This is Gandalf's sword. Gandalf's sword. Gandalf gave this to me. Gandalf gave it to me. Mr. Gandalf. Paolo Lungaro said, off topic, but have you guys seen the last craziness with Sam and Greg? Greg said he's going to unalive Sam, and neither one has been on a stream today. Who's Greg?
I saw Sam whining to YouTube about it. YouTube, will you come save me? And I saw it because he tossed Thaddeus in there, and he said, these guys... So Greg and Thaddeus. I don't know who he means by Greg.
I have no idea who Greg is. So, I don't know much about Sam. Speedrunner, I don't want to think about... I have a general attitude of, I know Sam talks about me every day, but I just don't want to think about Sam or even comment on Sam or react to Sam at all. I just do not want to care. Why did IP have to go through all the trouble to make that sad video? Instead, he could have built a bakery in Gaza and earned more money. This is a good point. And Jack Gray, Zoot Moving Services, they pack your stuff for you. Moped. Uninspiring philosophy. AP should go to DebateCon, hang with Destiny. LOL. That was my original plan. I wanted to go hang out with Destiny, but then I decided not to. Anyway, I don't think I'll watch more of the Hibachi because I'm tired.
The very beginning. So somebody take her the 4 month on it. Said I'd be more than glad. Said the opposite. She said, no. You only fight them if they attack you even after the 4 months. So do you agree that's not true?
I don't think that's what she said.
That is what she said. I'd be more than glad.
That's literally what she
said. More than glad to make that. I'll be more than glad to make that video. I promise you.
Yeah. So it depends. It depends on specifically who you're talking about. Because if you're talking about all the polytheists generally, 1 second.
I don't need the damage control.
I'm getting to it. I promise. Okay. So if you're talking about all the polytheists generally, generally you can attack them afterwards. But even if you keep reading, verse 6 clarifies that if any of those polytheists still ask you for protection, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, that's called extortion for me. I understand the whole idea of just
lead them to safety so that they can know more about Islam in case they might want to convert. That's it. And you can kill them anyway. It's like a gay sword. AP loves that gay sword. You're gay. All right. Just kidding. All right. Anything else, David? I don't think I'm gonna have the patience to watch Hibachi. Wait, how long are they talking Hibachi at, Nick? They're talking for 15 minutes or so. So Hibachi talks to Nick for about 13 minutes or something. We can watch it some other time. We can make a part 2 of this. And then later on, Duck Lips comes in. And Duck Lips talks to him actually for over an hour.
Duck Lips, woo!
So I will change the thumbnail after this, and we will just make it about Korra the Ninja. And I'm sorry for having scammed everybody by saying I would look at Orthodox Lips. David, anything else? What are we doing? Are you doing something tomorrow?
I'm going to be driving in the evenings. I'm probably going to go live earlier, like 5 or 6.
I didn't ask you if you're driving us. I asked you if you're doing something, if you're going live.
I'm probably, I wanted to revisit. Jai actually debated Korra a couple years ago and completely schooled her. But now that she's actually more popular, I'm thinking we're going to revisit that and watch the. It's only like 40 minutes or something like that. It was on Avery's channel. But yep, I asked Jai the other day if he wanted to go through that. And I think we're doing that tomorrow.
After Itachi, Malik comes. Oh, he's on there too.
Oh, Malik. Oh, yeah, we might need to check that out. Hey, no, I've never done anything. I've never talked to anybody. These are all lies.
The most intelligent Muslim commentator, Malik. Malik! Gotta check that out. Maybe we can do that tomorrow. Stop sending super chats in the beginning. Yeah, next time don't send so many super chats.
Yeah, what's wrong with you people? No more super chats. Slows down the show.
If you're going to send super chats, just agree with each other to send some super chats, send a $500 super chat, another $500 super chat, another 500, another 500, and then we can go through them very quickly in 2 minutes, and then be done with it. Anyway, all right then. Thanks everybody for joining here. We shall be together soon again. I have just left some personal struggles behind. I will have more time, inshallah, and have some big projects coming up. We'll talk about it all. Until then, have a fantastic day, everybody. God bless you all. And as always, you're muted, David.
I'm not muted. I just didn't want to say it because it's your line.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam. Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.
Stay away from Islam.